Hello.
And welcome to
The Nick.
The Jake
And
and
the
the movies. We did that pretty well.
Yeah,
That
we're
was-
getting better.
That was a good one.
Honestly, I love the name, but the first time we recorded and said it out loud, I was like, "That's dumb."
We did a bad job.
we did, but I'm warming up to it again.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's sticking with me. I've told a couple people about it, and I haven't gotten a ooh reaction yet. So it's always been like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah. When I tell them what it's about and stuff. Welcome to episode. What is it? 5?
It's episode 5.
Wow.
The Quest for Peace.
The quest for peace.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna solve today.
We're gonna solve world peace. That's it. 2 mid-20-year-old white guys from the East Coast.
We got this.
We were destined to do this.
Anyway, what have you been up to this week?
Well, we took a week off,
Mhm.
so it's been 2 weeks now. A lot of stuff I've been up to. Mostly, well, I'll talk about. Let me think. Did I watch anything? Did I watch anything with you?
Not with
We
me.
watched Tommy Boy.
Oh, we did watch Tommy
we watched
Boy.
Tommy
Yeah.
Boy. I watched Tommy Boy for the first time.
That. Oh yeah. Yeah,
thought
that
it was
was fun.
alright.
It was a good.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe playing a bad guy is always good.
That was very fun.
Yeah.
I love him in that role. And I watched it twice in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Because I watched it with you, and then I watched it with two of our friends. And yeah, it
You're
was
not
great.
gonna go with the name drops.
Nah, they can figure it out.
They know who they know. Who they are.
If they don't, if they ask me who it was, like, did you watch it for a third time with other people?
And besides watching that with you, I guess the other big thing, I only did one other big thing, which was I played The Last of Us Part 2. Actually, before I talk about The Last of Us Part 2, one thing I do want to talk a little bit about was I started rewatching Watchmen, the HBO series.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm showing it to a person who hasn't seen it yet. They're really into it. But we're halfway through, and they're they're kind of confused as to some parts.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, this is the perfect chance for me to rewatch the movie and show them the movie. So we watched the movie. Cheesy as all hell.
Yeah,
still,
very
still
much
great.
so.
It's still a lot of fun. I think the worst person in that is what's her name? Madchen Emick. She plays Silk Spectre too.
Oh, the younger one?
Lori, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's got some real cheese ball lines.
Of course, but that's not her fault.
Yeah, it's not her fault. Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach is
He's great.
fucking standout, man. He's
Perfect.
He's so good in that role. He feels so much like Rorschach. It's ridiculous.
Do you know who Tim Burton had taken a look at it, and there was a few different people, but in the 90s, I don't remember who was going to direct it. But
Watchmen?
Yeah, Watchmen.
Okay.
But do you know who they originally wanted to be Rorschach?
Johnny Depp.
I bet. No,
Going
actually,
off the Tim Burton thing.
Tim Burton wanted Johnny Depp to play the comedian. Which
Really?
I-
Whoa.
yeah, which I think could have worked in depending on how you did it. I don't
Comedian's
think.
supposed to be like a big guy, sleazeball, 70-year-old. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think because Tim Burton would have Tim Burtonified it.
Sure.
So
He
maybe
definitely would have.
maybe
I can
that-
see it in my mind
what it would look like. Yeah, fair enough. And so I think in the Tim Burton context it might work, but I don't think it would have been a good movie.
Yeah.
But in the 90s they wanted Robin Williams to play Rorschach, which
Whoa, that's strange.
yeah, which I would have welcomed to see how he did
I
it.
think he would have been a good comedian.
Right? Oh yeah, that would have been interesting.
Right before comedian's about to be killed, and he's just like, it's all a fucking joke.
That would have been great.
That would be so perfect for him.
Yeah, no, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is great.
Yeah, he's really
good.
good.
But Robin Williams would have been very good in that.
As a
I didn't even think about
comedian,
that. Yeah.
Who else would you cast in a 90s Tim Burton?
I
I think Rorschach would be Johnny Depp. Or Dan Drydenberg, Night Owl 2.
could absolutely see him doing a version of Night Owl.
Yeah.
Let's see. 90s. Ooh. Maybe
ooh.
Anthony Hopkins is Night Owl 1.
Maybe, what's his name? He's in Roadhouse. He died.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze
as Night Owl 2.
as Ozymandias.
Oh, that could work.
Yeah.
I think that could be
It's got to be like a blonde guy. Blonde,
more
handsome
blondie.
white guy.
Okay. Honestly, I think Rob Lowe would have made a good one. If you
For Ozymandias?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know.
Yeah.
But I like the one that we have in the new one. Like he's in not Tim Burton. The Zack Snyder
Zack
one.
Snyder.
I like the little touches, even though he's clearly the bad guy. Where
the guy who plays Ozymandias.
Ozymandias, yeah. He's clearly the bad guy, and
Uh-huh.
in the book, it's a lot vaguer until you get to the end.
Yeah.
But he's so evil in almost every scene. But they do a nice touch.
He does do like a sneer all the time, like Dan Dryberg, why are you here with me?
Exactly. Yeah, he's clearly the bad guy.
Yeah,
like
he's
just
doing
the
the
way
bad guy
he
voice.
presents himself. But there are a few hints because, like in the book, they talk about how he's from German origins.
Right.
And in the scenes where he's in public, he talks with a completely American accent. But when he's in private, he has just the slightest German hint to his accent.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Oh.
It's hard to it's subtle,
In
but
the Snyder
in the
film?
Snyder film, yeah,
Oh,
which
okay.
I think is really interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. But no, I like that movie. I think it's good.
It's definitely my favorite Zack Snyder movie. I used to feel really strongly about the ending, that I liked what he did with the ending.
I like it, yeah.
How instead of, if you know, in the comics, Adrian Veidt creates a fake giant alien squid
that he convinces the world is intergalactic.
Yeah, and he teleports it into Manhattan, and it emits a psychic blast, which I think kills 3 million, is what they say. But in the movie, it's a bunch of like Dr. Manhattan bombs, basically.
I like that. It works better for a movie, although I would have loved to see the giant interdimensional space squid.
Yeah.
I
mean, we get to see it.
But dead.
Yeah,
or
it was
just like
always
laying
dead, though.
down. Yeah, I guess, but that's true. But I would have liked to see Rampage.
Just to be like,
yeah, that would.
Well, it would have been teleported there, and it would have been like, and the blast would have just gone off, and it would be like, bleh. Like it would just be dead.
That's true.
I know what you want to see, though. You want to see it like,
yeah, of course,
crawling around.
I want to see
like,
almost a monster movie until it emits that blast.
But yeah, no, and after. I really like the ending. I think it really works for the movie. But after, I used to think it was better than the comic book's ending. But after reading the comic book again and watching the series, it's a better ending.
You think that the movie is a better ending?
No, I think the squid is better.
Okay.
In context of like the story.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But that's my thoughts on Watchmen, and then my thoughts on the miniseries, which we finished. Yeah, I guess it's a miniseries. It's just one season.
Yeah, you could call it that. They wanted to make a second season, but
did they?
And Damon Lindelof was like, "I will if I have a good idea."
Right. Yeah.
And then he was like, "I don't have a good idea."
Yeah.
So
and he should leave it because it's a really good ending.
I like that ending.
Yeah. I do think the ending is the weakest episode.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, we saw that one together, but I do think it's still a fucking great episode of television.
Solid. Yeah. It's a real good. I like the ending a lot.
Yeah.
I love the twists and turns throughout that entire series.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's really great. I love Looking Glass. He's my favorite character.
He's a great character.
Yeah.
I always love seeing
his story's so sad. It's ridiculous.
I know. And
he's a virgin.
Is he?
Well, when he visits his wife to give her the nostalgia pills to find out what they are for Angela, she's like, it took me 7 years to try to get you out of your clothes because his whole thing was he was about to have sex on Judgment Night.
Yeah.
And then she like runs off with his clothes. So he's like paranoid as fuck. So I think he's a virgin. Like
he might be, yeah.
I think his wife left him because she finally couldn't like get to him or crack him, you know.
That's unfortunate. Poor man. I'm always happy to see Tim Blake Nelson in something popular.
He's so fucking good.
He's
too.
great. He's great. I've never seen him deliver a bad performance.
No, me neither.
Like I love him in Buster Scruggs.
Yep.
And even in The Incredible Hulk. Like,
oh yeah, as a science guy.
He was set up to be a villain. They just never made that sequel. He would have been either the mastermind or the leader, I think. And like you could see his head like doing a weird like bubbly thing.
Yeah, it's got like a vein or something like that. Yeah.
And I would have liked that. I hope they bring him back. They could. Like in some form because it is in continuity.
Oh yeah, later on down the line.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna get apparently a Hulk versus Wolverine movie.
That'd be cool.
So I'd throw them in there because eventually they're gonna be friends. Have them have something to fight.
I wonder who they're gonna cast as Wolverine. I want him to be short.
I bet you it's going to be Hugh Jackman.
Oh, come on. I'll be really disappointed if it's Hugh Jackman.
I think...
Because they now have a chance to cast a Wolverine that actually looks like Wolverine. That's not to say Hugh Jackman doesn't look like Wolverine.
He's too tall.
He's too tall, and it's not the right build.
Who is the... I forget his name. Is the the main actor in The Sopranos.
James Gandolfini?
That you are correct. I was thinking of I think Bob Hoskins is who I was thinking of. I just mixed it up.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
He's a very short, very hairy man. And when they were making X-Men 1, people championed him to be Wolverine.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is he just like a big Italian guy?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, which I would have loved. I think that's why I mixed him up with
That's
James
so
Gandolfini. I'm looking forward to it either way.
Yeah.
I would have said a good younger one would have been, I think, Robert Pattinson would have could have nailed that.
I could see that.
But
Totally.
now that he's Batman, I doubt he's going to want to be both.
He's not going to do another superhero thing. I don't think so. Unless it's like a satire.
Speaking of his Batman, I really think that they're going to connect it to the Joker movie.
And Joaquin's going to show up?
Yeah, maybe. I bet you it's like an after-credits scene.
Yeah.
Because it's standalone, apparently. It's separate from the big DC stuff.
Yeah.
And so was the Joker. And it would give, because there were rumors that this Batman movie set in the 90s.
Yes,
it would
I
give
heard that as well.
Bruce Wayne time to grow into Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, because when is Joker set?
70s.
70s.
Or 80s. It might be 80s.
Right, okay.
So if you set it in 96, 97, he's a early days Batman.
Yeah.
You know?
Be like 22, maybe.
That would be fun. I think you could do that. And I think that's one of the only movies that Joaquin Phoenix said he'd make a sequel to is The Joker.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I'd be down for that. I like that movie. I wasn't as hot on that movie as a lot of other people, but I enjoyed it.
Both. I think I liked it a little bit less than you.
Probably, and I think I would have liked it more had I not. I had known most of the things going into it.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. But it was also, I saw it during the whole craze when everyone was like, violence is going to happen.
It's incredible, yeah. It's a taxi driver for a new generation.
Yeah, and it's like making people want to go out and hurt other people.
Yeah. When really,
which was bullshit.
Yeah, it's more about it's more about the awareness of mental illness than it is anything else. Which is a good message.
Yeah, totally.
But it's just, I love how many people were like, it's going to cause chaos and people are going to want to be the Joker.
Yeah. If anything, it's heavy-handed.
A little bit, yeah, I could see that.
But, yeah, getting back to Watchmen, I love the series. I think it's fantastic. It's such a good sequel to the Watchmen canon as a whole. But, yeah, and then... that's basically what I did, but before I go on my big spiel about Last of Us Part 2, why don't you get into your week?
Okay. You let me borrow Sekiro.
I did, yeah.
So I've been playing that quite a bit, and I'm terrible at it, but I love it. It's great. And that got me onto wanting to, because I'm a huge Akira Kurosawa fan.
Yeah.
You know that about me.
Yes.
The look on your face like, oh, great, he's going to talk
about... No. I know what you're doing. You're like, as you know.
And that got me to rewatch Yojimbo.
Right.
And that got me to rewatch the Kill Bill movies, which we'll talk about more later.
Okay, yeah.
But, oh, God, I love Yojimbo. And God, Sekiro is so good. Mm-hmm. Sekiro is such a fun game.
Where are you right now? What is the last thing you did?
I'm at the boss in Ashina Castle at the top.
At the top?
Yeah, like that big cutscene happened.
How far have you gotten into it?
Into that fight?
Yes.
The closest I've gotten is getting him down to about quarter of his health.
On the last health?
Yeah, on the last health bar.
What is he doing? What is his moves?
He's same thing. It's been consistent throughout from the start of the fight to where I am.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything
I was going to
more.
say, is it going to change up right at the last minute?
No, maybe.
He seems like a fight I'm going to get continuously throughout the game anyway.
Yeah, he's like your guy.
Yeah, he's the first real boss fight you have, and you have to lose it.
Pretty much,
So, I wonder...
You actually don't have to lose it.
Could you win it?
You can win it, but then the same thing happens.
I hate that.
Isn't that stupid? I mean, it makes sense, but
It's like the first... Does it, though? It's like the first Dragon Ball Tenkaichi.
Mm-hmm.
There were very specific... To each story mission, there were specific requirements you had to do to finish the level, and it was usually beat the opponent.
Sure.
But there were survive for 60 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, like the early ones, if you were good at the game, you could knock them out before the ending, and if you do that, you fail. You have to redo it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, do you like that more?
I hate that. I think that's
you would
dumb.
rather have it be the same thing happens rather than a failure state.
Yeah. I hate the fact that if you
funny.
win, they're like, you're done. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Restart. I just wasted my time.
Yeah, putting in all this effort, sweating.
And I can't imagine that would take me in Sekiro. That would take me forever.
Sure.
To kill that boss, and then at the end it would be like, you failed.
Oh, by the time you beat it, like actually Sekiro, and if you do a replay, that dude's
he's nothing.
chump change.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah. Compared to like your skills you've gone up with,
acquired as it goes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like I've gone in so many other directions that I didn't even realize I was supposed to be at that castle.
Sure.
So I've seen all the monks.
Yep.
Which I love. They're great. Very difficult for me.
What about the when you get on top of the castle, like you finally find that one reach point.
Yeah.
And then you start making your way around the castle and like up and stuff. What about that guy who's on the kite and you just hear
I hate him.
You just hear a yow, and then all of a sudden you're like boom. And
I
get
hate
onto the
him
ground.
so much.
That's so funny.
He killed me almost every time. It's just because it knocked out most of my health because I just couldn't dodge him.
Yeah, no.
But
you
no,
can deflect him.
Oh, that makes sense.
You can deflect anything.
I know. It's that timing.
Basically.
Yeah. Except for like very specific lunge moves. But
yeah, the ones where it's got like the red symbol and stuff.
I love just the character design. Even for enemies I hate fighting.
Yeah.
I still I love the birds, the weird bird people like you were just talking about.
Right, yeah.
Like that just swung down like that. They're cool. I love the monks, the weird musket mountain men.
Yeah, I hate those guys.
They're difficult, but they're interesting.
Yeah. I love that game.
It's good. It's really solid. And that got me to rewatch Yojimbo because I wanted to watch a classic samurai movie.
Nice.
And I can't wait to watch Dreams.
Right.
That's going to be nuts. I mean, that's not even samurai, but
yeah, what's it about? It's an 8-part thing?
It's like it's 8 segments, so it's an anthology. And it's Akira Kurosawa directed it, and it's 8 of his dreams. They're like 8 dreams that he had. And he is technically he doesn't play it, but he is the main character. And people only know that because the main character is called the Dreamer, and he wears the hat that Akira Kurosawa would wear in almost every interview he had.
Oh, okay.
And the studio that he worked with for years, it's either Toho Productions and there's a few others, but they didn't want to fund it. So George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, who were huge fans of Akira Kurosawa,
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, right? Yeah, Star Wars doesn't show that at all. Funded it, I believe, out of pocket.
That's rad.
And it's great. Yeah. And Martin Scorsese is in it as Vincent Van Gogh.
Yeah, you told me that, and I was like, that's awesome.
Isn't that crazy? I think that's nuts.
So I assume he dreams about Vincent one night.
I'm assuming so. And I'm really curious how Martin Scorsese plays it. Is he gonna have his normal accent?
Yeah, it's just Martin Scorsese.
I love that. Just dressed up as
just with a pad over one ear.
And a goatee.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Painting a little bit. Hey, it's the Starry Night. Hey.
But yeah, that's been my week. I've been watching a lot of things like that, and we'll get on to Kill Bill, which I had a ball rewatching.
Yeah. This topic, as the name suggests, with some sort of pun that I'm going to write later.
Of course.
Is about Quentin Tarantino movies. But before we get to that, I want to give a spoiler-free review of The Last of Us Part 2.
Nice. Which I have not played. I haven't touched.
No. Do you know the story of the first one?
No. I know bits. I've been mostly trying to avoid it because I want to replay it, but at this point I don't really care.
Sure. I'm not going to spoil anything. Basically, the start of Part 1 is you play as a smuggler named Joel 20 years into the apocalypse, and he's asked to do this one mission, and it ends up being a girl, and she ends up being that she cannot be infected by the zombie virus that is going around. So your job is to get her across the United States to some people who can cure her, hopefully, or take her and her DNA or whatever and make a vaccine. Stuff happens. Stuff happens at the end as well. In the second one, you play as the girl Ellie, and it's 4 years later. You're in a settlement with Joel and his brother's wife like runs the whole thing. It's like a full city. It's really amazing, honestly. And something terrible happens to them, and Ellie goes out on revenge.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So it's the gameplay's fantastic. It's so incredible. It's dark. It's depressing. When you murder people, you really feel it.
Yeah.
Like if you like if like you're in a shootout or something like that, you like take someone out, they're like, "Oh my god, they just killed Chris." Like, they like named everyone has a name, and they like scream and yell when their friends are murdered in front of them.
That always reminds me of Unforgiven.
Okay.
Where like when they finally get one of the two guys near the end, like they shoot him from a distance, and he's just begging for water.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "They shot me, Lamb." And like Clint Eastwood's just like, "Go get him some water."
Right, yeah.
And it's just this like horrendous moment where a friend, like the guy is watching his friend die in front of him.
Yeah.
Oh god, that gets me every time. So hearing that's ooh.
It's something. There's dogs in the game, and you have to murder the dogs.
Oh no.
There is one specific moment where you have to kill a dog.
No.
Yep. It's trying to kill you. So
okay, yeah.
I chalk it up to it's me or the dog.
It's survival.
I'm going with me every day. But the gameplay's great. The graphics are fucking amazing. The main thing, because this is a very controversial game.
Yeah, I've heard.
Critic scores 90s to 100s. User scores. I don't know where the Metacritic score is for users right now, but last time I checked, it was like 4 point something.
I heard about that.
So very, very low.
That sucks.
It's mostly attributed to one, review bombing, because I want to say maybe a month and a half to 2 months ago, the story leaked.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't know how much of it leaked because I stayed away until I played it. I did get spoiled on 3 things, one of them being true, the 2 others not happening.
Okay.
Thankfully. But there is an image out there. There are multiple images out there that are straight up spoilers, but one of them is literally a detailed breakdown. Well, not really detailed, just like beats of like stuff that happens, and it leaks the entire story, which is very, very sad. And I feel very bad. So that's why the review bombing is happening, because people don't like the story.
Yeah.
And it's a very divisive It's like I was telling you last week, it's The Last Jedi all over again.
That's unfortunate.
It's basically someone taking a thing that you love and then being like, what if we did this with it? And it's either you love it or you hate it.
Yeah. Very polarizing. That's
extremely.
Yeah. Unfortunate, because I know the first one's incredibly beloved by everyone, critics and fans.
Pretty much everyone loves The Last of Us. I think I might like 2 better.
Yeah?
I don't know what it is about me, but I kind of end up liking things more when I find out that people don't like them. Like, well, we won't talk about Star Wars, but I hold Last Jedi in very high regard. I mean, I think we both do, right?
Yes, I am a fan of that movie.
We're both big fans of Last Jedi. And I think it being like people being like, "Oh, it's stupid. I hate this movie," blah, 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 made me like it more.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, whenever I like look at audience scores of anything or like individual reviews, and the movie is it's always 2s or 10s for reviews. I know I'm usually going to like the movie.
I usually side on the critics side as well.
And I don't even just mean critics.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like, say you go to like anything like a review for a movie on Amazon or just like, or looking at audience reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sure.
And like, it's either like really high or really low.
Yeah.
Like War for the Planet of the Apes was all 2s or 10s.
What? Really?
Yeah. And
that movie's so good.
I love that movie. It's probably my favorite, favorite, like, of all of them, yeah. I love that. And I'm a huge Planet of the Apes fan.
I think Dawn might be. Dawn is number 2, right?
For the new ones,
Dawn.
Rise, Dawn, War.
I think Dawn might be my
They're all
favorite.
mistitled.
They really are. It's stupid.
Dawn should be the first one. Rise
Dawn,
should be
Rise,
the second
War,
one.
yeah.
And the last one should be called Survival or Escape.
You're so right.
Escape, because most of that story was pulled from The Great Escape.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They really, it should have been called like Escape to the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been
sense.
a better one. But I love Matt Reeves as a filmmaker.
Yep.
That's why I'm really hoping Rian Johnson, to connect it to what you were just talking about.
Right, yeah.
And Matt Reeves eventually make a movie.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
It would be like a super movie.
It'd be great. I mean, Matt Reeves has worked with J.J. Abrams.
Right.
With Cloverfield.
Oh, he did Cloverfield?
He made Cloverfield.
Love Cloverfield.
Yeah, I love the first I love the first two Cloverfields.
Yep.
I
even kind of like Paradox
a little
bit.
I don't hate it. I think there are a lot of cool ideas.
People overreact on it a little bit too much.
I think it's dumb.
It's stupid, but
but it's not too bad.
It's a little fun.
I like the reason why they give us for why
Sure.
all of this crazy crap
I like
is
that
happening.
as well. Yeah.
I think that's really
There's
interesting.
some moments in it that are really horrific, like when they find the woman in the walls and like tubes are going inside of her and stuff. Oh my god, that was terrifying.
There are some. That's another example of that movie in general is Netflix taking a movie that was already being made, and then turning it into something else.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Yep.
And it's usually only done because they don't think that the movie is good enough to attract attention.
Yeah, when really doing that might be the detriment of the movie.
Yeah, I mean that movie. Take it the original way it was supposed to be filmed. Maybe it would have been narratively a better story, but who knows? I like them all. I think that first one's the best one though.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I do like the twist of the second one, where the entire time they're just stuck in this house, and at the end it's an alien for the last 10 minutes of the movie.
He's right.
Yeah,
how fucked up is that?
That he is right.
That he's right.
I mean, but that's the thing is. The unfortunate thing is that it's called 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Sure.
Because I figured he was right.
Yeah, that's another movie that was not Cloverfield, right?
Yeah, I
think it was called like The Bunker.
Something like that, yeah. And I like that it's a different threat than the monster from the first one.
Yes,
I like that
too.
But because that adds a lot too. Is like if he's right, that means like they're also spreading weird diseases, and things like that. That's nuts. I think that's crazy. But
back to The Last of Us. I'll wrap up my thoughts. I err on the side of actually when I first finished it, I sat with it. I played it in like 3 increments, and it's a long game.
I've heard
it's like 25 to 30 hours long.
Shit. Oh.
Yeah, there was a moment where I was like, "Oh my god, it's over," but then it kept going.
A few people have told me that there is a moment everybody thinks it's over, and then it just goes on for another 2 hours.
For another like 2 to 3 hours, which was great because I was like, I don't know if I like this ending.
Ooh.
But then the real ending happens, and I erred on the side of really liking it and really appreciating what they were trying to say.
Were you satisfied?
I was.
Is it conclusive, or would there be a third one?
There could be a third one.
There could be. Okay,
be,
I like
yeah.
that. All right.
There's totally precedent for there to be a third one. If it's probably another thing where if Neil Druckmann, the director and like I guess head writer, I don't know, thinks he has a story in mind, there'll probably be another one. It might be because when Last of Us came out, they did a DLC story expansion called Left Behind.
Okay.
And it was like set in the past, and it was like another like 5-hour experience. So maybe they'll do something like that. Excuse me. When The Last of Us came out on PS3, it was like right before PS4 happened. So about like a year or so later, they did a remaster version of it on PS4. Okay. So I think that's what's going to happen with PS5.
Okay. Oh, for Last of Us 2?
Yeah, I think there's going to be like a definitive edition that comes out with like all the stuff. There might be multiplayer as well that's being added to it.
Okay.
And Last of Us had a really interesting multiplayer mode. But yeah, no, when I first finished it, I was kind of lukewarm on it. I was like, oh, like that's it? Kind of like maybe a little bit unsatisfied. I was hovering around a 6.5, 7 range. I didn't think it was bad at all. But I was also like, oh, I wish there was more. But then I sat with it and I slept on the story, and I ended up really appreciating what they were trying to say. And some people have been like, oh, it's like violence bad, revenge bad. Like, duh, it's stupid. But I don't know. It's just like, it makes sense for the characters. I think everything is in line with the characters, doing what the characters should be doing based on previous interactions and stuff. I don't know. I liked it. I think it's a really strong 9 out of 10.
Okay. I'm picking up the first one soon, so I'll get that one as long as I like it, and I can't imagine I won't. So so that'll be fun. I'll talk about that probably in a few weeks.
It's like the most cinematic game I've ever played.
The first one?
Yeah, even the second one too. It's like literally all the characters are played by actors. Motion capping.
All mocap? That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're just like talking to each other and stuff, and it's really, really enthralling, I would say.
Right. I love that in GTA 5.
Yeah.
Like, it was all motion captured. It was done very well.
Yeah.
And you know that one part where Trevor, you've played through GTA 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trevor comes to see one of the main characters and he trips on a fence.
Yeah.
That happened.
Oh, really?
And he just played it off.
Yeah.
And he added because Trevor is then pissed. So I think it's Frank Ogg is the guy's name.
Right, okay.
Who played Trevor. Like that
looks just like him.
He does,
too.
yeah. And, like he legitimately tripped and he got up and he acted exactly that way.
That's so good.
I thought that was fantastic because you never see improv in a situation like that.
Exactly, yeah. That's what mocap does. It's like your ability to be more of an actor rather than just a model in a 3D world.
And I think that's great. Rockstar's been really pushing that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to do next. Maybe a GTA 6? I think.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
I think
Bully 2?
I would. That is my hope,
really
but I
cool.
doubt it. Like they make enough money off of GTA 5 where they don't need to make a GTA 6.
They can just do GTA Online forever.
They can. Like it will just keep being supported.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's my thoughts on The Last of Us 2. I would love to go deep into spoilers, but
we will once I play it. Like,
yeah,
because I'm hoping to get the first one this week, and I'll play the second one immediately after.
Yeah, and I have the second one on disc, so if you want to just borrow it from me, you can.
That sounds good.
Or if you want to buy it yourself.
I might. It depends.
Yeah, I think I have the first edition of Last of Us, the first one on PS3.
Yeah,
I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
that I have it. Because a lot of the time with collectors and stuff, they like having the first editions. They hate it when I don't know if they do this for PS4. I don't think so, but for PS3 they have the Greatest Hits series, which I believe changes the cover art to where it just says PS3 at the top. It says like PS3 Greatest Hits, and it's a red box. They hate that. That's like you won't get any money if you try to sell that.
Yeah, fair.
So it's cool that I have the
original.
Nice. Yeah, it's just a cool thing. But yeah, that's my thoughts on The Last of Us. Shall we get to our main topic?
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino.
I guess Footman himself.
Yeah. I guess. Well, we'll go in like the order as the movies came out, but Reservoir Dogs will be quick. Unless you want.
Or do you want to do it where we go through our list of
our favorites?
Where we start at like the end, talk about it, and then we slowly get like you do
our
your
favorites,
end, I do my end, then you do your seventh one, then I do my seventh one. Or
yeah.
something,
all right.
like
We can do that. Yeah.
Let me grab my phone real quick.
All right.
Okay. I haven't seen Jackie Brown though. So
no, that's fine.
So I'll skip that.
That'll be my first one.
Okay. Yeah. Talk about Jackie Brown for a bit.
It's good, but I think it's the first one that he made that wasn't his original idea because it's based off of a book.
Oh, I see.
And that shows a little bit because it couldn't be completely Tarantino madness.
Yeah.
Because it has to stay within the story.
And it's right after Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah, it's his next movie. It's what really solidified his work relationship with Samuel L. Jackson as well. And there are some great parts, but it's a good movie. It's just like lower on my Tarantino list.
Sure.
Yeah. But that's all I really have to say about Jackie Brown. Watch it.
Okay.
I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I still want to see it. Okay. I have 10 movies in my Quentin list.
10?
Yeah. Number 10, the last one is True Romance.
Yeah, I was curious if you counted that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of a joke that I put it in there, but I hate True Romance.
Yeah.
I really don't like that movie.
I want to watch it. I'm curious about it because of its connection.
You should, yeah.
Its connection to Pulp Fiction interests me a lot.
Yes, it is.
That really piques up my curiosity for that movie.
It's like the main characters are the characters in the diner, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the main
okay.
characters, that was going to be the case. But it got changed at some point.
I like that they changed it.
I like Tim Roth as that character.
me too.
Yeah,
And
I think
Honey
he's
Bunny
and I don't remember. I just remember that he's called Ringo by Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, so good.
That's a great moment. Yeah.
Okay, so my real number 9, or I guess it is 9, right?
It
now.
would. Yeah. It's 9 now. Yeah.
It's 9. Okay. My real number 9 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's your least
That's
favorite.
my least favorite Tarantino movie. Yep.
That's so funny. We're gonna have completely opposite lists.
Yeah, no, that's why I think it's interesting that we're going list by list. I think it's my least favorite just because I feel like I haven't ever checked my watch during a Tarantino movie.
Oh,
and in
yeah.
that one, I checked it a few times.
That's I check the time during almost every movie I watch.
Sure.
So I never think of it as a bad thing. I'm just curious.
You're never like so enthralled with a movie that you like forget.
Sometimes.
Okay.
But like I'm usually like I'm curious how long this has been going. Like
sure. Yeah, I get that.
You know, and so I would have checked it a few times as well, but not out of like where's this going. I did when I watched that movie. I was a little bit like where's this going?
Sure.
But I liked what all the characters enough and their relationships enough to where I didn't really care. I enjoyed the movie, and I love old movies. I love the movies it's trying to replicate. So I was all for it. Like watching Brad Pitt make mac and cheese for 5 minutes, I was on board.
Yeah.
You know, I love that stuff. Like you watch a lot of Driving Around because he wanted to make a movie that was made in the 60s.
Yeah.
And I like that so much. I love that all of his movies are a love letter to a certain part of movies.
And it being the last on my list isn't to say that I don't like it.
No, I want to rewatch it with you.
I still walked away, I wouldn't say really liking it, but like liking it a good amount.
Yeah, because it was the ending that was...
eventually there's the turning point where Brad Pitt at the commune,
the ranch,
that I really started to like be like, okay, now I have something to sink my teeth into.
Yeah, that's so tense. It's such a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I want to rewatch that with you. I think you'll find more out of it a second time. I think when you know what you're getting into, that movie's a lot more enjoyable.
I bet as well. Yeah.
I love every part of it. I love the deleted scenes on because I own it. I own every Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh,
but
look
like,
at you.
Yeah, look at me. It's almost as if I like movies.
It's almost like
it's
you're
weird.
a hoarder.
What do you want me to do with them?
Digital, Nick. Everything's digital
Well,
nowadays.
that's still hoarding. It's just hoarding your hard drive.
Yeah, less space though.
I guess. I've never heard anybody refer to my collection as a hoard. But fair enough. No, I love that movie. That's one of those movies that I like so much, and there's only 3 or 4 that if I'm like thinking I want to watch something, that is one of the first ones that popped to my head.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, because I'm like maybe, but it's so long is the only reason I don't watch it all the time.
I feel like that's a really good background movie.
Yeah, that's
maybe
completely
just like
fair.
put it on when like you're doing something
other
else.
stuff. That's fair. Yeah, I think I was lucky in that aspect because last year 2 movies came out where I like them enough to rewatch them 4 or 5 times.
Which ones are those?
That was Once Upon a Time, like we were talking about, and Knives Out.
Yeah,
I can watch Knives Out anytime.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's on Amazon Prime now.
Yeah, but I own it, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I own every Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yep.
And I own every Rian Johnson movie as well.
Who's a better filmmaker?
Oh God, I'd say they're equal for completely different reasons.
Okay.
Very different.
Yeah.
I think Quentin Tarantino knows how to use a camera, but the strength of his movies are in dialogue and the actors. Like he's great at directing his actors, and he usually picks almost perfect actors for what they're doing.
Yeah.
Rian Johnson.
I feel like his weakest part might be the directing.
Who, Rian Johnson?
Of the actors specifically.
Rian Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is fair.
I think his strength is the writing and the story.
Yes, I think, well, I'd say nothing about, I would say Quentin Tarantino his dialogue is amazing.
Yes.
In most situations. With Rian Johnson, I can't think, maybe you're right about he's not great about directing his actors, but I'd say almost every aspect of him, nothing I would say is amazing. I would say he's above average in every aspect of what he does.
In Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I think that's what like really sets him apart for me.
Yeah.
Is like it's all above average. Like nothing's incredible, but nothing's mediocre.
Yeah, sure.
And
I could agree with that.
that's why I love his movie. I love Brick and all that. But
Brick is such a good movie.
yeah.
But I just had a thought.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say maybe he is the Steven Spielberg of our generation right now.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
He's. I see what you're saying, but in money, yeah. But Steven Spielberg doesn't have nearly as many naysayers.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody was on board for him.
Yeah. Well, it's an unfortunate thing because Ryan made a movie in a specific universe.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why there's so many naysayers.
I think if Steven Spielberg made a Star Wars movie, it would have been just as polarizing.
Yeah,
but so
probably.
Maybe you're correct in some aspect.
I mean, Temple of Doom is goddamn awful.
Yes, but I love that movie just to see it. It's so good, and just to enjoy.
Even Spielberg is like, I hate the movie so bad.
He talked about the Back to the Future trilogy, and
right.
he talked about, which I think is funny because Part 2 for Back to the Future is my favorite. Yeah. I love when they go to the future, but he believes that it's the worst one, and he compares it to Temple of Doom.
Whoa.
He said it's that dip in a trilogy, just like Temple of Doom.
Wow.
Which I thought was interesting. I was like, no, Back to the Future Part 2 is completely...
It's probably the third one that's the weakest.
Yeah, and which is funny, because I'm a huge Western fan, so it should really get me. But no, 2 is my favorite.
Yeah.
All that like future fantastic stuff really interested me as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, the self-tying shoes. But,
yeah, it was great.
But, I mean,
I think I might like the first one the most.
Yeah, it's the most classic.
Yeah.
But... Back to Once Upon a Time. I don't know. I love that one. But we'll get to my love for that in a bit.
Thoughts for me is, it meanders a bit. Leo and Brad Pitt are so good in it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm totally not mad about Brad winning the Oscar for supporting actor.
So good. He was great, yeah.
He's so good in that. And the ending scene with him smoking the acid cigarette is... amazing. Just so fucking funny.
Did I tell you that connection to Kill Bill?
No.
No? Oh, I must have just told somebody. So the person who sells him the acid-dipped cigarette is the little girl who plays BB in Kill Bill.
Oh, really?
Beatrix's daughter?
Wow, that's so good.
Isn't that great? I love that.
Yeah. Uma Thurman's daughter's in there for a bit.
Kevin Smith's daughter is in there.
Yep.
Bruce Willis's daughter is in there somewhere.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a compact.
Yeah, no, it's all in the family.
All 90s stars and directors' kids, which is great.
It's great. Yeah. No, it's a fun movie. That's my thought. What's next on your list?
Death Proof.
That's also the next on my list.
Yeah. Which is funny.
I love Death Proof.
You like it a lot more than I do. I like that movie. I love its message.
Yeah.
I love seeing a creep get the crap kicked out of him at the end.
Good,
it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
I don't like the narrative of like split in half 2 different stories about the same guy.
Oh, you don't like that?
I don't.
Okay.
It just it breaks it for me structurally.
Like the momentum of it?
Yeah, exactly.
I could totally see where you're coming from with that.
If they did it like 3 different incidents of Stuntman Mike, like set up that way, and like each one was a little more like epic than the last, man, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But I don't dislike that movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun. I think the first hour is awesome.
Yeah.
I love the conversation and he like leading people on to get into his car.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fantastic. And where it went, I was so excited to see more. And then it just kind of restarts.
Yes, it does kind of just like be like, okay, that was the end of that movie. Let's do another movie. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is the sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it felt. And that aspect I didn't like.
It's not a long movie, is it?
No,
hour 40 maybe.
Hour 50, I think. You know, all of his movies except for
Reservoir 50.
Yeah. Reservoir Dogs are usually almost 2 hours or more. So it's that makes sense. And I like it more than its counterpart that Robert Rodriguez made.
I haven't seen that
Planet
one.
Terror. It's
all I know is Girl Got Gun on Leg.
Yeah. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, I bet.
If you like
it's like a spiritual prequel to Machete, right? Or Machete?
It's more of a terrifying like diseased monster movie.
Oh, but,
yeah.
Danny Trejo's in it, right?
Danny Trejo is in almost every Robert Rodriguez movie.
Right.
They're cousins. which they didn't know until they worked together.
Oh, really?
They figured it out later.
That's
yeah.
so good.
And they're good friends. Spy Kids is more of a prequel to Machete.
You're right. Don't they call him?
He's Uncle Machete.
Uncle Machete, yeah.
And so I think the idea behind that was a character they had created years ago.
Yeah.
And then they just
may as well do something with him.
They threw him into Spy Kids, and then years later they're like, let's make that Machete movie because people wanted it.
Have you seen any of the Machete movies?
Yes, I've seen both of them.
Are they good?
I like them a lot. Yeah. Okay. You got to take them for what they are.
Yeah.
Because they're making fun of old grindhouse movies.
Yeah.
And like old dumb action movies.
Yeah.
Like
I'd probably really like it.
I think you would love them.
Yeah.
And they are working on a third one.
Very cool.
Do you know how that started?
No.
I don't remember. I think it was for Death Proof and Planet Terror.
Okay.
They made a bunch of fake trailers.
Right.
Rob Zombie made one,
right.
which was like the werewolves from the USSR.
Oh my God.
And one was Machete. And so people wanted that movie so badly that they made it. And they even reshot parts of the trailer to put into the movie.
That's so cool.
They got most of the cast back who was in it. Yeah, even Lindsay Lohan. And Robert De Niro is one of the villains.
That's awesome.
In the first one. And I don't remember if Charlie Sheen plays the main villain of the second one, but something happens to that character, and he was supposed to be played by Charlie Sheen in the third one.
Oh.
But and that was a joke.
He's the president, right?
Yes, he is. I think you're correct. Yeah. No, he is in the second one. Yeah. I believe he does become the villain. Which is
so funny.
It's great. And Lady Gaga is a villain in the first one.
Oh, really?
She plays a character. She's one of them because there's a character who can mimic people perfectly and like has like prosthetics to change what they look like. So that character is also played by Cuba Gooding Jr. and a few other people.
Wow, everyone
is in that first movie. Yeah, that's a movie night for us. We should definitely watch. Yeah,
totally double feature.
Oh, absolutely. I believe I have them both somewhere.
Nice.
It makes sense we're talking about Robert Rodriguez. He showed up around the same time
with Quentin.
Yeah, I mean they made movies together.
Yeah, they're buddies.
Quentin Tarantino is in Desperado.
Is he?
He's in the beginning. He tells.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, he tells that terrible joke.
Yeah.
About the guy in the bar.
Yeah.
And I believe he gets killed by Desperado.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Or El Mariachi, but no, Death Proof is one of my least favorites, but I like it. A lot of people are in that. I love Kurt Russell as a villain.
Yeah.
Because you never really get to see him do that. I mean, he in Guardians too, but all the villains in the MCU movies are too cuddly. I think
they're family friendly. Basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Except Thanos, I guess.
Thanos was the most villainous,
and
I do think that he will be like this generation's Darth Vader.
Oh, 100%. There's so many memes about Thanos and now. So it's
of course.
He's a cultural icon, basically.
People are going to be rewatching those movies all the time, and I bet you they'll bring him back into the MCU eventually.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very in the realm.
Time travel, again, probably. But yeah, Death Proof, I really like Kurt Russell in it. I love the soundtrack when she dances at the bar. I love that song so much.
Yeah. I love that song too. Whenever we're hanging out with other people, I have that song put on. I love it to death.
I love how terrifying it is when she gets in the car and he's just like, "Oh yeah, just take a seat right there," and she gets in and it's like locks in and he just like goes crazy.
Yeah,
that's so fucking crazy.
And
the gore is insane.
It's nuts. Yeah. When he turns around, he runs over the other car.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad.
But even like what you were saying, when he first gets that one girl in, and he's just like, I said this car was death proof, and she's like, yeah. He's like, well, to get the effects of that, you really need to be on this side of the car.
Yeah.
That's a great moment.
He's playing up the Kurt Russell factor.
And it's great.
Which is it's great.
It's so good. He's another actor I've never been like bad.
Oh,
you're bad in that actor. He's almost always perfect.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that was also yours.
Yeah, that was also mine.
I think...
it might be the same, a very similar list.
Yeah. Until we get to the end.
Sure.
Because I think my next one... I got to think, because my next one might be Pulp Fiction.
Interesting. Okay.
I love Pulp Fiction to death.
Yeah.
But it's overplayed. Like, it's one of the, like, everybody talks about it. Everybody knows about it.
When you first watch it when you're 13, you're like, "Oh, this movie's so good." And then you grow up.
I actually didn't watch it all the way through until I was like 2 years ago.
That's wild to me.
And you were there at the ending of it. You showed up and watched the last half hour with me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And that the Harvey Keitel character in that, who's the cleaner, is playing the character he was initially supposed to be in Reservoir Dogs, but they just changed it up and put him in that one.
Yeah, for reasons.
Yeah, because he's based off of a real person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the wolf, and like he had different situations, but he was based off of a real life guy who was apparently a cleaner, which is interesting.
Nice. A cleaner.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's his job in the movie. Like they accidentally kill Phil Lamar.
Yeah. Marvin.
Yeah. I forgot about that. I watched that movie several times, and I'm always looking because there are 2 rhymes about names throughout that, and I'm always trying to find out if there's a third one that I always miss.
What are the 2 rhymes?
There's my name is Paul, and this is between y'all.
Okay.
And when in the beginning, when somebody first asked Samuel L. Jackson what his name is, he's like, "My name is Pitt, and you ain't talking your way out of this shit."
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there are 2 throughout it, and I'm always curious if there's a third one that I missed, because I always missed the Pitt one.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. It might have been cut.
Yeah,
editing.
And that's another movie it's great, and the actors are great, but the camera work is very not great.
It's pretty flat.
It's very flat. There's a lot of really blurry shots in the background. Like a lot of things out of focus. So
I do like the framing of a lot of scenes, though.
Yes. If anything, it's more of an issue with this cinematographer than maybe him.
Yeah.
But and even if it is him, his later movies would show he absolutely knows how to use a camera.
How does the nonlinear storytelling work for you?
Great.
Yep.
I think that's the way to do it. I love that, but I like to always challenge that because I would love to. I think it's on YouTube, but I want to see the chronological.
I have
order.
Yes.
Yeah, just to like compare it.
I
don't know why I love to like dissect that kind of like whenever it's done like that. Would it work?
Yeah.
If it was like, and I think maybe Man of Steel would have worked better in chronological order.
I see.
You know,
okay.
Like if you had all the kid stuff first and then like him getting his powers, that's a movie that may have benefited from it. But Pulp Fiction, I don't know, but I love the way it's out of order because there's always things because it's out of order. I'm looking for clues to other things.
Yeah, to identify where it is in the timeline.
Exactly,
yeah.
And like because John Travolta early on says that somebody keyed his car, and I think it's the Bruce Willis character.
Yeah,
because he's just mean to the Bruce Willis character for no reason.
Yeah,
but I'm always looking whenever I watch that movie to see if I can see somebody key his car. And
just like when they're walking,
like in
away.
the background, yeah. And I haven't because I don't think it's in there.
Yeah, sure.
But like it's always got me on my toes, which is a product of the script. It's very well done.
Yeah, it's a great script.
No,
you hate the Marcellus Wallace's soul in the briefcase theory.
I hate that theory. I
think it's kind of fun, but
I love the theory that. I think it's fun if the movie
it's not real.
Of course not. Yeah, that can't be what it was. And he is very like I love to hear he himself when asked he's like, "Oh, I'll tell you what it is," and they're like, "Why?" He's like, "A MacGuffin."
Yeah. Like, what do you think's in the briefcase?
Personally, I like to think that it's the diamonds from Reservoir Dogs.
Ah,
that's what I like, and that is a theory that he likes as well.
Okay.
Like people have said, "Is it that?" And he's just like, "Originally, I wrote it to be that."
Okay.
But it's whatever you want it to be.
I think it's a light bulb and a note that says "Act shocked when you open this."
Well, for John Travolta, he must have confused shocked with satisfied because he looked very happy.
It's gold. I don't know. It
could
looks
be gold.
It's gold. I always assumed it was just
money,
jewelry, gems.
Because all of his movies are connected to bits, and I like the idea that is like the big narrative thrust of Reservoir Dogs. Well, the more the narrative thrust is they almost got caught, but like the literal MacGuffin in that movie, the diamonds that they're all trying to get. I like the idea that it's carried in with completely different characters.
Sure, yeah.
And then it's still all these people trying to get this one thing.
How would the diamonds get to Marcellus Wallace's then?
The Steve Buscemi character who survived.
Yep.
Well, he could have gotten shot. We don't know, but I would.
Taken out by Marcellus Wallace or
maybe
one of his guys.
he could have been killed. Maybe he was trying. Knowing that character, maybe he tried to sell them to Marcellus Wallace.
Ooh.
Marcellus Wallace didn't pay him money he thought was enough.
Yeah.
So he said no, and then Marcellus Wallace killed him.
Maybe he was the guy who was rubbing Mia's feet.
Maybe. Oh, you think so? He could have been.
What? Maybe.
Oh no, he couldn't have been.
Oh, really?
Because they talk about he's a big Samoan man.
Oh. Damn it! That was a good theory. I just
it was. Yeah, I like that until I remembered that. Yeah, because they were.
Wait! I got it. I'll save it. After he got away, because the police knew what he looked like, he got plastic surgery and a bunch of different cosmetics to look like a big Samoan guy.
Fair enough.
Theory saved.
I just imagine it goes from Steve Buscemi to The Rock.
Yeah, literally.
That's funny. It could. I think that's what that could have happened.
Sure,
they could have killed him, and he had already tried to get rid of him, which is why those early 20s guys have it at the beginning.
Yeah.
So that could be it. No, but that's it. I think Pulp Fiction is great. I love its. Their monologues in that movie I think are fantastic.
Yeah.
Like the very
totally.
ending when Samuel L. Jackson is talking to Tim Roth, and he's talking about why he's like, usually you'd be done by now.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to go a different path. And that's why I want his last movie to be about that character again. I would love like Tarantino's final movie to be that character still walking the earth like he said he was going to be.
Yeah. Just like, what would he be doing?
Solving problems. I don't know what the narrative would be, because you could throw him into anything. And that if he's just wandering the country, you could send him in any situation. Yeah. It's really whatever. And Quentin Tarantino said his last movie is going to be very epilogue-y. So using a character like that who is looking for purpose in life might be the way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for Pulp Fiction. What's your next one?
My next one is Reservoir Dogs.
Ah, okay.
Reservoir Dogs, we obviously watched it recently. I think it's a really great first feature film,
Okay.
I guess you could call it, right? First feature
Yeah.
film. I think it's really a lot of fun. I think I saw Pulp Fiction before I saw Reservoir Dogs.
Okay. That's fair. I saw Reservoir Dogs when I was a small boy.
Yeah, so for you, Reservoir Dogs was me, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
I
okay.
saw it when I was small. Reservoir Dogs is great. Dialogue's great. The standoffs are great. It's iconic, seeing them all holding guns at each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's
the ear scene.
The ear scene. Oh, so good.
So good. I don't really have much to say about Reservoir Dogs. I think it's just a good movie.
If you want to hear our opinions on Reservoir Dogs, we have a commentary.
Yeah,
track
there's a whole hour and 15-minute commentary track to listen to. I like it. I don't think there's a single movie on either of our lists that we dislike.
No, I like every movie he's made. Some more than others.
Yeah. That's just me. But I will say my next one is Pulp Fiction. So,
okay.
Reservoir Dogs. I like Pulp Fiction better.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Okay.
And echoing a lot of what you said with Pulp Fiction, I really do like I think that was one of the first movies I ever saw that was like a non-linear story.
It inspired a ton.
Yeah.
After that, it was a huge push for non-linear storytelling.
Are there chapters in Pulp Fiction? Or does it just fade to black, go into the next scene in certain parts?
I think there are, because he has them in almost all of his movies, but I do not remember for the life of me.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think Pulp Fiction's structured really well, too. I think the pacing is really good. Like we talked about, I think the cinematography is the detriment of it. It's pretty bland.
Yeah.
But there are some cool moments, like mirroring John Travolta and Mia driving to dinner, and then using that to mirror them driving back back home with her like blood all over her face, and a lot of great moments in Pulp Fiction. But yeah, great movie.
Yeah, it's really solid. And I don't know. I guess like final words for Pulp Fiction.
Good movie. Go see it.
Yeah, exactly. Go see it and give it. I mean, everybody loves that movie to death.
Yeah,
but it's like I said, I think it's overplayed. But absolutely, go see it.
I've also seen the non-linear version. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. I think it's more of just like an editing trick, though. Like someone just being like, "Oh, I took a movie and I edited it differently." Like you could do that with any movie. The only reason it's like a big thing is because it's nonlinear, and it doesn't really do much for the movie. I think nonlinear storytelling works to its advantage in Pulp Fiction. So I think that's the required way to view it. But I'd really be interested to hear from someone who hasn't seen Pulp Fiction
At all.
and not know about it and show them the nonlinear version.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Wouldn't that be weird?
That would be strange.
Is that mad science? Is that cruel and unusual?
Okay, so I will name drop one friend.
Sure.
We have a friend, Jesse. And
you got one.
I use Jesse for experiments with movies all the time.
No, you should just cut off. I use Jesse for experiments.
I will have him come over and I will show him a movie that I want to see his reaction to, and it's not always because I think he'll like it. It's literally just I want to see how he will respond
for your own
to this.
sick pleasure.
Well, I showed him Pulp Fiction.
Right.
And I loved that he was very dismissive of it before he saw it.
Oh.
Because I was just like, this is like a very critically acclaimed movie. And he's like, what if I don't like it? Which he has almost never said to me about anything I showed him. And I was just like, why? He's just like, I don't know. I just feel like I won't like it.
No, that's actually totally fair. Because I feel like selling someone on Pulp Fiction, if like they're not already being like, oh, it's a great movie, I should probably go see it. It's kind of a hard sell.
I could see that if they haven't heard that everybody loves it.
Yeah. Just being like, okay, so it's about these two guys, and they find diamonds.
Yeah,
and then
it's not really about these two guys.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of a weird sell.
It's complicated. Yeah. That's completely fair.
Have you ever seen a trailer for Pulp Fiction?
No.
Me neither.
I
wonder what it would be.
It was passed away. 90s trailers are awful.
Yeah.
Most trailers don't get good until like 2010.
Sure,
if I'm honest.
I love some trailers.
Some trailers are great. I implore everybody ever, like not just the people listening, but everybody in the world should stop what they're doing and watch the trailer for Any Which Way You Can.
God damn it. I thought you were going to say something good.
That is a great trailer. Nothing has made me want to see a movie more than that trailer. And it is old. It's from the 70s, but that trailer is perfect.
Fucking A.
You cannot say you don't want to see that movie after seeing that trailer. I mean, great trailers. The Suicide Squad trailer 2 is also one of the greatest trailers ever made.
Really?
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Wow,
that's what got everyone on board. That's why that movie made like $800 million. Like,
right. Maybe that's why they had the edit from the trailer company.
Exactly why they did that, because they made
that's so
the trailers.
Fucked up.
Exactly. It was after that second trailer dropped is when they got them to make their own edit of the movie, which was a horrible idea in my opinion, because they're not made to do that. They're made to make trailers.
Let me think of some trailers. I love the trailer for Mandy.
I never saw it. I just watched it.
It's so good. I love the trailer for Inside Llewyn Davis. I think it's trailer number 3 that I really like. From that. But actually, I try to avoid trailers at all costs.
Me too.
Especially for movies that I know I'm going to watch anyway, so I try to not view anything.
Fair, yeah.
The only movie that I've really ever gotten away with, because, you're sitting in a movie theater, trailers happen. I'm not going to get up out of my seat and go outside while trailers are happening.
No, that's fair.
Or like close my eyes and ears and be like, to just like block it out.
Yeah.
But
sometimes I'll be on my phone while a trailer will go.
Sure, try not to look at it.
Yeah, because I've been avoiding Tenet. Like trailers
I love the trailers for Tenet. They look fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm not even that interested in seeing that movie.
Yeah.
But like I'm in because Christopher Nolan is just one of the big filmmakers.
They're good trailers too, because there's a newer one that I saw which reveals a little bit more, but they're good trailers in the sense that they don't tell you what's happening.
Great.
Or
That's
give
great.
you like a sense of what's gonna happen.
It's like the trailer for that Netflix show, The End of the Fucking World.
Oh, okay.
The trailer shows mostly only from the first 3 episodes.
Sure.
Out of an 8-episode series. So I thought that was done.
Ooh, I love the
well.
Last Jedi trailer.
Yeah, that was also
That's
fantastic.
A great trailer.
But we should probably get back to...
Well, I wanted to say the only movie that I've gotten away with not seeing any trailers for and watching in the theaters was Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Nice.
And it was so good.
I saw that way after it came out.
Oh,
I was behind for a lot of MCU stuff until Civil War or so. And then I saw them all consistently.
Yeah, okay, let's move forward. So I just said Pulp Fiction. What's your next one?
My next one is probably Inglourious Bastards.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Almost
my God.
right in the middle, yeah. And I like that movie quite a bit. I think it has incredible tension. I think it's a situation of it goes on just a tad too long.
I guess that's
But
fair.
I know it's one of your favorites, and we'll get into your love fest for it later. But
I'll talk about it later.
I think this is where our list starts to kind of get weird.
Oh
muddled,
yeah, it's getting fucked up now.
Wow,
like
I
not
said,
even Reservoir Dogs yet.
yeah, I know.
Wow.
I love that movie. Reservoir Dogs is but
Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards is I love how he dips his toe into every genre a little bit, like all of his favorites, and I'll get into that with Kill Bill again. I can't wait to get to Kill Bill.
Yeah.
But it's just this. You could tell he loved his favorite war movies are in there, and even some of his favorite westerns because he is very influenced by westerns.
Yeah.
And samurai movies. Like he was a huge Kurosawa fan, which is great. I don't know if he still takes influence from that, but you can see it in Kill Bill.
Sure, yeah.
But you can tell he loves war movies, and he pulled a lot of things from his favorite war movies. I mean, he pulled some things from like The Wild Bunch of Western. Like I've told you about that. Like there is a scene in The Wild Bunch where a man sees somebody and remembers getting tortured by them. Like remembers a whipping. And that same scene, same framing is done in Inglourious Bastards. Like a guy, it's not the same like he sees him at a table in Inglourious Bastards, like he's right across from him. Yeah. And then he remembers being whipped, but it's the same shot.
His name is Hugo Stiglitz.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's fun. I like how he homages that stuff, but it's almost stealing. It's so close.
You could say that with every Tarantino movie.
Yeah, you very could. I think Reservoir Dogs is almost his most original.
Probably.
It's just out there.
Maybe Hateful Eight too. Hateful Eight
is great as well. Hateful Eight, I'd say, is this Inglourious Bastards is the start of the trend I like, where he takes history and makes it the way he thinks it should have happened.
Yeah, twists it a little bit.
Like Hateful Eight, and I'll get into that. All those people are not directly real people, but they are based off of real horrible people.
Oh, I actually am unfamiliar. So
it's like they were all. Yeah, we'll get to that, but. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when we get to that on my list, we'll also talk about the changes there, because that warms my heart. Yeah. I love that a lot, yeah. But no, it's great. Christoph Waltz changed the game with
so good
with like villainous performances.
He waltzed right in, and
he
Quentin
did.
Was like, I need you in everything I make from now on.
And you know what's great about that? Is Quentin Tarantino is the only person to convince him to play a Nazi.
Wow.
He had been offered a Nazi in tons of movies.
Turned it down.
And Tarantino was like, please do this. You're perfect for this. Yeah. And he did it. And now after that, most of his movies, besides Django, because he's great in Django.
Yeah. He's like the goodest guy in Django.
That character is so good. And they're related.
Ah.
Those characters are relatives.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened along the line.
It's 120 years of
I guess
of
so.
change,
1860 to 1940.
Oh, 80 years of change.
Yeah, it's still.
So it would be his grandchild or son
or
such. So it could be anything.
Yeah.
Really. He probably wouldn't have. His son could have been a bastard for all we know.
That's true.
You know. But it's so solid. I love that he took from To Be or Not to Be, which is one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies, which is almost a shot-for-shot remake of a movie from the 40s.
We should mention Carl Reiner died.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and that's like Mel Brooks' best friend.
I thought it was that makes sense because Rob Reiner's in like his 60s and Carl Reiner was like 90.
Yeah. It was Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner who would get together every day, drink tea or whatever.
Yeah, and watch movies. Yeah, they're just eat and chill and watch movies.
I hope Mel's doing okay.
A lot of his friends have been going. Gene Wilder, who he said when that happened, he's like, I was very shocked to hear that.
It's going to be I wouldn't be surprised if we hear in coming weeks that Mel Brooks is not doing well.
Oh, that would hurt.
Because he's a very old man, and it's very sad what happened.
That is, yeah. I know. It's very unfortunate.
But yeah, I just want to mention that just to offer condolences and stuff.
He made one of my
wishes.
favorite comedies ever.
Right.
The Jerk with Steve Martin. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't seen The Jerk.
That is so fun. It is like, it's dumb humor.
He's just an asshole, right?
He is just an idiot.
Oh, I see.
Who does selfish things, mostly because he doesn't realize they're wrong.
Right.
But he is phenomenal in that movie. He is so funny. Like, there's a great moment where basically his wife leaves him, and he says that he doesn't need anything. But then he picks up all the things he needs. He says, I don't need anything except for this and this lamp.
That's great.
Yeah,
man.
It's fantastic.
I love Steve Martin too.
He is. That is probably my favorite movie.
That dude's funny.
There's a great moment.
You said The Jerk is probably your favorite movie.
I didn't mean to say favorite comedies. It's one of my favorite comedies.
I was about to say.
It was my favorite Steve Martin performance.
I see.
There's a great moment where
What is your favorite movie?
Ever?
Sure.
Oh, that's too difficult. If I was going to narrow it down to like 3, it would be Gremlins 2, Unforgiven,
and Evil Dead.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2.
That's you know what? You changed my last one. Because like off the top of my head, it wasn't going to be that. But Evil Dead 2, yeah, absolutely. I love movies with chaotic spirits.
Sure, yeah.
You know, so Evil Dead 2 and Gremlins 2 are almost perfect for that.
Yeah, it's a perfect double feature.
What about you? Top 3 real quick before we get back to Tarantino.
Llewyn Davis. Shoot.
Yeah, it's tough, right?
Yeah, well, that's why I always say just Llewyn Davis off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Llewyn Davis, Green Room.
Green Room. Yeah, okay.
I fucking love Green. I just changed it on my list. And Twin Peaks: The Return.
It's not a movie, but whatever. Let's get back to Tarantino.
It's on the movie list.
Yeah, I'll just pretend you said Fire Walk with Me, and we'll move on.
No. Fire Walk with Me is not my favorite movie.
It's great. I love that movie, but
yeah, it's really good.
but yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to attract the attention of other people whose favorite movie that is.
I don't want to meet people whose favorite movie is Fire Walk with Me. Things have happened to them that are bad. And I don't want to know.
That is just awful things happen in that movie.
Okay.
But anyway,
back to the list.
But yeah, that's it for Inglourious Basterds. I think it's great. I love how he pulls from To Be or Not to Be.
Yep.
Like the ending where they bring Hitler into the movie theater.
Yep.
Just like they were going to do in To Be or Not to Be, and it is a trick in both movies, and that has a huge influence on him. And it makes sense because the original one from the 40s was made to be like. People were getting crap from the government for making anti-Nazi movies.
I see.
So To Be or Not to Be was like, no, we should absolutely have the right.
Like a fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was like we should. There's a movie specifically about like we have the right to say whatever we want, freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And that's also a great movie to watch.
Good for Mel Brooks. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, yeah. But that's it. That's all I got for Inglourious Basterds. What's your next one?
My next one is Kill Bill Volume 1.
Nice.
And this is where we transition from really liking movies to loving them.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Kill Bill Volume 1 is such a good revenge story.
It is fantastic.
Also, another nonlinear story.
Yeah.
That I didn't realize was nonlinear for a long time.
I realized that on our second time we watched that together.
Yeah.
Because the first time I watched it through was with you all the way through.
Right, we
Kill
played
Bill 1 and
drinking
2
games to it, I think.
We did when we watched it with like a bunch of people.
Yeah. I got fucked up to that drinking
game. Did you?
Man. It was a good drinking game. Yeah, Kill Bill Volume 1, Uma Thurman, phenomenal. So good.
Based her performance off of Clint Eastwood.
Really?
In the Man with No Name trilogy.
That's rad.
Yeah, it's
great. I
great.
didn't know that. The action is so good. You know why it's in black and white, right?
The part of when they fight the crazy idiot, it was an homage to old samurai movies that would be imported to America, and were changed to black and white so they could get a lower rating.
Oh, okay.
So they could show it on TV.
Oh, I guess for me, I heard basically the same thing as just the MPAA were just like too much blood, and Quentin was like, "Oh, I'll just turn it black and white." Haha.
Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe. I always heard he did it intentionally from the start, but
he might have just said that after the fact.
That's fair. Yeah, he totally could have
just been like, "Well, actually, I always meant to do that,"
because that's what would happen all the time.
That makes sense.
They would try to get either on TV or the lowest rating they could for movies, so more people could go see them.
I think the Folly sound effects are so good. All like the.
Oh, they're so fun.
All the punches are so funny. The violence is goddamn atrocious in the fact that it's just like hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And the beginning of her getting shot in the head is such a strong opening.
And the song is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, everything about that opening is great.
Yeah. Such a good female character too.
Yes, the bride is fantastic.
I've heard discourse of people being like, there's some people out there who are like, oh, it's a girl, I can't relate to female characters. But I've never heard that with Kill Bill.
No.
Everyone loves Kill Bill.
A lot of people love Kill Bill.
Yeah.
The only people who don't like Kill Bill that much are critics. But what I love about most reviews, they'll give it like 7s out of 10. But they'll always say, but it is excellent in its sense that it is a love letter to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Everybody gives it that.
Yeah. I love the anime scene. So cool.
I would be very okay if his last movie was an animated movie in that style. Maybe even about Oren.
Okay.
Oshi Ren, I think her name was, but
I think that you're right.
Yeah, but she I would love that, like a coming of age story about her becoming an assassin.
Yeah.
That could be
cool.
fun. I would love that.
But yeah, closing thoughts on Kill Bill Volume 1. Such a good movie. Another movie that if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it, and it's a lot of fun to show people as well who haven't seen it.
Oh yes. Oh, I love that.
But yeah, no, fantastic movie. What's your next one?
My next one is probably Reservoir Dogs.
Nice.
Which used to be my top 3.
Yeah.
But over time that's changed up. But I love that movie to death.
Yep.
Like if I were to pick like top 50 movies, it would be high up on there. Like
really?
Ever.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Reservoir Dogs. But when it comes to like, down to Tarantino things, if I'm going to watch something, it would be around 5. On that list. But
that's where Kill Bill Volume 1 is for me.
Yeah.
5.
Oh, that's so good. So are you going to separate them? Because when I get to Kill Bill, I'm going to talk about it as one big movie.
Yeah, because I like the second one better.
Yeah? Okay. That's interesting. No, Reservoir, we already, like I said, we have that commentary track, but I love it. I think it's Michael Madsen's greatest performance.
Right.
I love that character.
Yeah.
I love how chaotic and evil he is.
Yeah.
He's so perfect. When you're supposed to be on his side to a degree because you're watching these people and you're trying to
root for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's just a cog in the machine that just is rusty and doesn't want to work.
Yes, exactly.
And I love that aspect of it. But no, and Chris Penn is fantastic. Like that scene, both when it gets to the shootout and he's like, "Stop pointing that at my dad!" Great. And I love his monologue about Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
About how he was just like, well, this guy, you're telling me this guy out of the fucking blue? I love that. It's such a great performance out of Chris Penn.
Yeah, Tim Roth, he was going to kill that cop.
Exactly.
Oh, this cop right here, bang, bang,
yeah,
bang. Oh, man.
That's perfect.
Crazy.
That I haven't seen Chris Penn in a lot, but when I saw that, I was like, he is excellent. At least as this character, he is an excellent actor.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for Reservoir Dogs.
Nice.
Yeah.
My next one, Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah. Cool.
They're very much next to each other.
Makes sense.
I think I like Kill Bill Volume 2 a little bit better because it's paced. I think the first one is kind of breakneck. The first one is like the bride does something, then she goes somewhere and does something, then she goes somewhere and does something, and she goes. Whereas 2 is like she fights for her life to get out of a grave, which the Gravediggers is in The Return. As Audrey's husband.
I thought that was him because I watched this the other day.
Yeah,
I said in the beginning, I thought that was him. Yeah.
I've only seen him in that, The Return, and in Snowpiercer.
He's in Snowpiercer.
He's the artist. He's
the
guy. Oh,
I haven't seen it. Is that a Bong Joon-ho movie?
It is a Bong movie.
Okay, so I definitely will get to it because I love him as a director.
I think that's going to be my recommendation for you then.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm very down for that. I already know what I'm gonna. You're gonna be happy with my recommendation for you.
Sweet. But yeah, Kill Bill Volume 2. I like the fights more. I love her master. I killed your master.
Pai Mei.
So good. Pai Mei is, and that girl with the eye patch.
Elle Driver,
yeah, doing the cheesy lines.
Pai Mei is probably my favorite character.
Yeah.
Based off of a real person in Chinese history.
That's awesome.
And so is Hattori Hanzo.
Yeah.
Both, and Hattori Hanzo has a deeper connection to things that Tarantino watched as a child.
Right.
Like, there was this 1 hour special that had a few sequels. I think it was called Shadow Warrior or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Something along those lines. An old Kung Fu samurai thing.
Yeah.
And each one was set 100 years after the last.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be the next generation of this guy's family.
Oh.
And each one, he got, the main character would get a sword from Hattori Hanzo. The first one, and the first one was the first, and the second one was Hattori Hanzo the second, Hattori Hanzo the third, and in Kill Bill, it's Hattori Hanzo the 100th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's very... so you can even...
That's awesome.
All of his movies are connected, and there are other movies you could plop in there, which I think are interested into this big Tarantino world.
Mm-hmm. I think the only part about Kill Bill 2 that kind of slows down for me, and I kind of go okay, let's move on, is when she goes to Mexico. And she goes to that guy at the whorehouse. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I love that so much because Michael Parks...
Yeah, it kind of just slows down for me. I don't know.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think it gives Bill a lot more depth.
Sure.
Because
I get that.
It gives you backstory
for
him. He doesn't say exactly what happened, but you can piece together.
Yeah.
Bill's mother was probably a prostitute.
Ooh,
Bill was one of because he has a gang called the Dupree Boys or something, and I think Bill was one of them. He started off in a gang and eventually got into martial arts, and he became what he was.
Right, yeah.
And he's very rich.
Yeah. As
well. That's hinted throughout the entire thing.
And I like Bill too. He's such a good character.
Yeah, Robert Carradine pulled out of a bunch of B movies. His career was over, and
that's so awesome.
Tarantino was like, "Hey, do this."
Is he still around?
No.
Oh.
He died of very interesting circumstances.
Oh.
Would you like me to say?
Why not?
He was found naked in a closet. He had autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh man, that's such a bummer.
Yeah, it's been. I don't want to get too much into that, but
no, yeah,
that's how he went, and it's unfortunate because I haven't seen him in much because a lot of the other movies he has been in are way old, which I love old movies, but a lot of them are B movies, and he's just drunk throughout them.
Oh,
so
I see.
I'm very happy that when presented the opportunity to be back in the limelight, he really got his shit together.
The ultimate B movie.
Yeah, and he is perfect for it.
Yeah,
and I'll get into that when I get to Kill Bill.
Yeah. Kill Bill Volume 2. I think it's got more heart than the first one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's I think it's better than the first one. I think it's really great.
Yeah. Oh, I could totally see that. Yeah.
That's me for Kill Bill.
And my next one will be Django Unchained. Which I love.
Yep.
You know me, I'm a huge Western fan.
Yeah.
And that's much more traditional Western than The Hateful Eight.
Yes.
It follows that kind of structure. And I love how old Westerns, a African American is almost never the main character.
Yes.
They're usually a side character or just not in it at all.
Yep.
And so it's got that going for it, and it's awesome. It's bloody and brutal, which I love. They have the original Django from the 60s is in there. And what I love about the history of that, another thing about him just wanting to be part of a bunch of older movies, is Django, the original one, I think there's something to do with sequels. I think it might be in anybody can make a sequel to it. Public domain.
Yes, public domain.
Because there are 200 unofficial sequels to the original Django.
Wow,
and
really?
Django Unchained is one of them.
Interesting.
Which is great. Yeah, I think that's really, really cool. And a lot of cool cameos that I love. Quentin Tarantino himself.
Yep.
In the same...
Doing a terrible Australian accent.
With Michael Parks. And I forget his name.
Oh, is that Michael Parks along with him?
Yeah, there are three of them.
Yep.
It's him, Michael Parks, and have you ever seen Wolf Creek?
No.
Wolf Creek is and its sequel are Australian slasher horror movies.
I see.
And they have the guy, and I love them so much because the guy who plays the guy, he's perfect as this insane Australian man. His name's Mick Taylor. That's not the name of the actor; it's the name of the character.
I see.
But they got that actor. He's the third one with Tarantino and Michael Parks.
Yeah, the one with the hair.
So that scene for me, I was like, for all of them, I was just like, all these people. And I'm a huge Michael Parks fan.
Right, yeah.
And I love, because Michael Parks plays two characters in Kill Bill.
Yep.
But I love how much Tarantino loves Michael Parks.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Another instance of him casting a actor's kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
OB.
Yeah, OB, and also
in the Kill Bill.
in
right?
Kill Bill, he plays Michael Parks' son, which is great. Son number one. I love that so much. But what? Yeah, I love that story Kevin Smith tells about going over to Tarantino's house with Michael Parks.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and Michael Parks has this cassette tape of just an old VHS tape that he made of his favorite Michael Parks performances, and they sat down and watched it together. And there's just like there's this awful volleyball movie called like Balls of Fire or something like that, something dumb. And Tarantino starts talking about, he's just like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, like some of the worst things. But then you walk into the room as the coach and you set it on fire. It's great. I love how much he loved him. Like he was such a fan of old actors, and he loved to give them chances. People who necessarily didn't get a second chance. Yeah, and he's great at that.
I mean, he saved John Travolta's career, right?
Probably. John Travolta was making a lot of movies that were just tanking at that point, and I do hope that they work together again. Yeah, because I think under the right circumstances,
he could bring something out of him.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. But that's about it for Django. I love Leonardo DiCaprio as a villain. It's funny because I remember watching Once Upon a Time where he plays a fake, like a TV Western villain. Yeah. And I was watching him. I was like, you know what? I would love to see him as an actual Western villain. And then I was reminded that Tarantino, he already did that. And he's great in it. He's fantastic in that
like,
role.
well, I got a movie for you.
And just Jamie Foxx as Django, incredible. Yep. And I love the love story. And everything in that movie is great, especially for a Western fan. Yeah. The music is very like A Man with No Name. Yeah, exactly. It's very that kind of opening. It's so good. But that's all for me for Django.
All right. Now we're on the top 3, I want to say, right?
Yes, we are.
Number 3, Django.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's Django, obviously. Django's so much fun to watch. That's like, I want to say, a movie you could put on in like, so say you have a bunch of people around and you just kind of want to put something on that like everyone will probably like and stuff, and you're still doing other stuff. By the time that movie's over, everyone's sitting and watching the movie intently.
Yeah, it's great.
It's one of those, and it's just such a good movie, and the violence is so satisfying.
Yes, especially at the end.
Especially at the end. Yeah, the blood effects are so good. A lot of it is very satisfying because it's like the ultimate getting back at someone, you know?
It's a great revenge western.
It's a great revenge western because it's literally like the most unjust thing you can do, slavery, and a slave just killing the people doing that unjust thing. It just feels so good.
It's very satisfying.
Yeah. But yeah, Jamie Foxx is so good in it. Christoph Waltz. Oh man, every time he dies in Django is so sad. What does he say? I couldn't I couldn't resist.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, he's fantastic.
He gets blown away. Oh,
Christoph Waltz is fantastic.
Yeah, he's so good in that. Leo is so good as a comical villain.
That's another one with
so evil too.
Very evil. Yeah. There's a lot of really cool cameos in that. Samuel L. Jackson is also great in that movie. And then there's
does he kill Samuel Jackson? Oh, he shoots him in the leg.
Yeah. Almost everyone dies in that movie besides Jamie Foxx. Besides Django. But he's great. Jonah Hill as
yes. Oh my God, I forgot Jonah Hill.
He's great. Don Johnson, I believe, is also there.
Yes, as Big Daddy Don.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Big Daddy something.
And he's great. He's always great.
Yeah. After watching like Watchmen and Knives Out, and because I didn't know who Don Johnson was at first, but now watching it, it's like, well, hello there, and him just doing the accents, so good.
I became familiar with Don Johnson at an early age with a movie called Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Oh,
and I want to go back and watch it as an adult because
commentary track.
Oh my God, maybe, absolutely. If we have the chance to, I would love to do that. It's ridiculous. It's set in a future that I believe the year has already passed. So it was made. It's funny because it was made in the 90s and it's set in like 99. Like it's set like a few years in the future, but there are differences. Basically, he's like he's not. It's not really.
Is he Harley Davidson or is he the Marlboro Man?
He is the Marlboro Man.
I see.
Mickey Rourke is Harley Davidson.
Right. I thought this was the one with Mickey.
Yeah,
Rourke.
it's incredible, and it's back in the day when he would box, and he looked just very much like Bruce Willis before he got really big.
Yeah.
Like because he would get. Like not like fat wide, but like muscular wide.
Sure,
he became a much larger person, and he's great. And I like The Expendables. I wouldn't say is a good movie, but I love Mickey. Mickey Rourke has a very emotional moment in Expendables when he talks about like how he messed up a job when he was younger, and he starts crying. It's very good.
I love the concept of The Expendables, but I've never watched it.
Bruce Campbell says that his next movie is going to be basically The Expendables with like horror actors.
Right. Yeah.
And I am so on board for that.
I'm definitely down for that.
I mean, who would you? Maybe Sigourney Weaver.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. That would be fantastic.
Would it just be a bunch of Final Girls?
It could be. It would be a lot of that. It would be. I mean, because Bruce Campbell is one of the only known like male horror actors.
Yeah, because it's usually females who
Scream
end
queens.
up winning or surviving.
Yeah, surviving. Yeah, winning. I beat you.
Well, they won in that they didn't die.
Yeah, that's fair. That would be a great ending to a horror movie where like they survive, they kill the thing, and then they find out they're on a game show.
Well,
Cabin
in the Woods.
Yeah, that's similar. Yeah, and it's also like 31. That's a Rob Zombie movie where it is the whole thing is like a game show. They pay to watch somebody die. It's like Hostel.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another thing. Like there's a few Rob Zombie movies I think you'd appreciate. Lords of Salem.
Yeah.
Because it's much more like witch horror.
That's cool.
Yeah, than like that. Yeah, and there are some awful things in that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you'd like that more. But anyway, yeah, no. Final thoughts for Django.
Yeah, back to Django. Final thoughts. The gunplay is so cool. All the cameos, the humor is so funny. The way he makes a bunch of white supremacists talking about bags on their heads, like cracking up laughing is just it's masterful, honestly. And that little cameo by Bruce Dern.
Who does he play?
He plays in a flashback of the Brittle Brothers. He's like the head plantation owner, and he's talking to Django right in front of him, like being like, "I'm going to take your wife."
He's perfect. Yeah, he's perfect for that role.
It's literally like a 10-second thing, but it's like you immediately hate him.
Yeah,
and it's great. The music choices so good.
Very spaghetti western.
But then there's the Rick Ross rap song.
I don't remember that, but that sounds like if it's placed right, that sounds great.
That's on their march to Candyland.
Oh,
the
yes.
one where it's like I need 100 black coffins for 100 dead men.
Yes,
that
I do remember that.
That song goes hard. It's just great. It's so good. Watch Django and play a drinking game to it because there's a good drinking game to it.
Yeah,
that was the first Quentin movie I saw in theaters.
The first Quentin movie I saw in theaters was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me. That's my number 3. What's your number 3?
I think my number 3 is kind of like mixed, but this is the one we'll talk about next. Hateful Eight.
Okay.
I love it to death.
Yeah.
So good. I love like I was saying, all those people are based on. They're not like named directly after them. Everybody in that movie, besides maybe the people who aren't criminals, like I doubt OB was based off of a real person. But a lot of the main people were based off of real horrible people in history,
like the Hangman and
the
stuff.
Hangman and the General, all of them, and that's another example of him tweaking history the way that I think. Well, at least that's how I interpret it.
Right.
Because they, rather than going off and living more and doing more horrendous things, they all die together, and they don't get to go off and do more horrendous things.
Yeah.
Because None of those people were good people, besides OB and the people who, and like many other people.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't say Hangman didn't seem like an awful person. We didn't get to know a lot about him.
No, he seemed like a neutral character.
Exactly, yeah. But I love that movie to death. It has an incredible monologue by Samuel L. Jackson, and I love the scene where he sits down to talk to the general.
Yeah.
And at first it's civil, and the general is open to talking to him just based off of the idea that even though he's a racist old man, that they shared a battlefield together.
Yeah.
He is okay.
And that's respectful.
Exactly.
You know?
I love that a lot. Even though they clearly hate each other, they had some respect for each other in some general. I think the Samuel Jackson character feigned that respect because of what he says later. But I do
that's his whole character.
Yeah, exactly. But I do like the fact. Yeah, his character is all about survival, and even in social situations, which I love. I think that's a really interesting aspect. But just their back and forth was fantastic, and I do believe that the general had some respect for him, as much as he hated him until the end of their spat.
Yeah.
No, that everybody isn't it Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Yes, Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah, Lee. Okay, yeah, who plays?
She was nominated.
For what? Best Actress for that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. She's great. She's so good in that.
I don't think she won, though.
And her singing, also fantastic.
Yep.
And she shouldn't have teased John at the end. That would have been a very different ending had she not. She probably would have gotten away.
She probably could have just been like, oh, my God, what's happening with John?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, her like pride got the best of her at that moment.
And nobody would have even cared that she left.
That's true.
You know, and like if she just didn't,
the only person still alive who had any stake I feel like Major Warren probably would have been.
That was the Samuel Jackson character, right? Yeah.
He probably would have been like, "Oh, you're not going anywhere."
Maybe, but he also wouldn't have cared if she was hung or not.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
He would probably just shoot her.
He might, yeah, absolutely. But he doesn't. I don't think he cares about her going off to her gang. He really doesn't have any stake in that, except for maybe respect he had for John Ruth.
Yeah, I do feel like though that they probably would have just bushwhacked both him and
Maddox.
That's it. Mannix.
It's Mannix. Yeah, the Mannix Marauders. Yeah, very possibly. But maybe. If anything, he may have said something just because he was suspicious already.
Sure.
And you know what? You're probably right because he was a big. He was friends with Minnie.
Yeah.
And if he figured out that they had killed Minnie,
he was going to kill him.
And Sweet Dave, yeah. So you're probably right. Like no matter what, she's probably not getting out of that alive.
Yeah.
But nobody did it anyway. So.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like what a 4-year-old movie.
Yeah.
But I love that movie. Yeah, no, it's top 3, absolutely. It's great. Performances are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Dialogue is great. A lot of people hate the fact that only one scene has a narrator.
Yeah,
but I like that.
I like it.
I like that a lot too.
Yeah.
I think that's fun because it's him. Like this is the name of this scene, and this is why. I love that a lot.
It's Quentin.
Yeah, but that's me.
Did you ever watch the extended version?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
I like the extended version a lot. I wouldn't have cared to see it in theaters. Although, first time it would have been incredible to see like the Roadshow. But
I'm so bummed I missed that.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of fun. But like a lot of that thing, a lot of the extra dialogue, I'm glad I was able to sit down watch it at my own pace.
Sure.
Because it was set up in 4 different things. But I like seeing the differences. I like seeing how more like the deal between OB and him is a little spicier.
A little more flavor.
Yeah, it's more fun. And you get to know that character more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoy both versions.
Yeah.
If I'm going to show people the movie, I just put on the regular one.
Movie, yeah. All right, so that's you for number 3.
Me.
My number 2, The Hateful Eight.
I thought so, yeah.
No, I fucking love that movie, man. It's such a good watch, you know? It's just one of those where you put it on and you watch it.
Yeah,
you pay attention to it.
No matter how many times I've seen it, I still feel it's very compelling.
Yeah, totally. You know? It's all situations, and it's just people talking. And
they brought Ennio Morricone out of retirement to make the score.
And then he won the Oscar for it.
Did he really? Was that the only Oscar he won?
He might have got writing. He's always up for writing.
Is he? Yeah. Because he did the Sergio Leone movies, didn't he? A lot of them.
Ennio Morricone? Yeah. He did the.
Yeah.
That was him.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah. And that music is so good.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Let's see. The violence is great. It's got one of my favorite kills in a Tarantino movie.
Which one?
When Warren shoots off Bob's face.
Yes. Two measly bullets, and there goes Senor Bob.
Every time I see it, it's fucking insane. I mean, I think it's pretty accurate because those revolvers back then were fucking powerful.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny to watch his whole entire face just go poof, and
Just
it's
pops.
just gone.
I love you can do that in Red Dead now.
Yes.
Like, that's great.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's great. And his delivery for the next line is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly hates these people, but it feels like he's having fun.
Yeah, sure.
You know, he's great. Now that he's finally caught on to the situation, he's like Benoit Blanc at the end of Knives Out.
Yeah,
where he's
yeah.
unraveling it, and he's having fun unraveling it.
He's found the donut hole.
I love it. It's great. Yeah,
it's so good. Great not a cameo. I guess it is a role, but he's in it for like 15 minutes by Channing Tatum.
Yeah, but he's
It's
great.
So good. Every time I've shown someone Hateful Eight, they always every time he gets like shot in the back of the head by Warren, everyone's like, "Oh, I saw that coming."
Yeah,
I did not see it coming when that
I don't
happened.
think I did either. I thought that was great.
Yeah, no, because when it happens, it's just like shocking.
Yeah.
And then her whole face is just covered with his brains and blood.
Oh, that's awful.
That movie goes from 0 to 100 so quick.
Yes, it does. I love that though. There's so much tension leading into the next sections.
It's so
fantastic.
satisfying when the violence starts happening.
I remember when I first watched that movie, I was disappointed by the ending a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
But now I like it a lot more.
Yeah,
You know, I think that the idea that they hanged her at the end kind of just went over my head.
Sure.
Like, I just didn't care like that. I'm like, who cares about John Ruth?
Yeah.
But rewatching the movie a little older, I was like, that's the perfect ending.
Yeah, it is, because it wouldn't feel right for them to just kill them. They had to hang her.
And the song "There Won't Be Many Coming Home" plays right at the end, and that's perfect.
It's like the war drama or whatever playing while he's reading the Lincoln letter.
Oh, that is also fantastic.
I loved the Lincoln letter.
The Lincoln letter is great. And Maddox at the end being like, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Such an unlikely team.
And they were great.
And they're so good together.
That was
I love when he's like, Maddox, come over here. And he puts the gun in his holster and he's like, grab my gun. And he like looks at him like, oh my God, are you going to shoot me? He's like, grab the gun.
That is so
and
great.
he's just like, point it at them.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he like realizes it and he like gets a big smile on his face
Yes.
and cocks it.
and when I don't remember who is called out, but one of them is called out for what they are, and Maddox is like, I fucking knew it.
Yeah,
it's
Joe
great.
Gage admits
Joe
that,
Gage,
he poisoned the coffee. And he's like, I knew it.
It's so good, yeah. Performance is great all around.
Yeah,
it's
Such
fantastic.
a good movie. But yeah, that's I could go on for hours.
Oh yeah,
about
me
Hateful
too.
Eight, but what's your number 2?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wow, that's such a different.
Very different, yeah, because that was your least favorite.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has so much I love in it. Like, all the 3 leads are amazing.
Yep.
I love Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate. Phenomenal. Like, even people gave him shit because she doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but it's just her going about her day.
Yeah.
Like what we see, and it's to get the audience to love her. So if you know anything about Manson, you feel for what's about to happen.
Yeah, totally.
And then it's very satisfying when it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I love, like, it's almost as if Tarantino is the god of this world. Like, he just tosses...
That's how he probably feels.
Exactly. Like, he just tosses 2 unlikely heroes into a scenario where they will fix it.
Yes.
You know, and that's how it feels. Like, they almost, and this isn't a gripe, they almost feel shoehorned into history.
Yeah.
You know?
I can see that.
But at the same time, it does feel natural. Like, his progression and the relationship between the Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio character is based off of the relationship between Burt Reynolds and his stunt double Hal Needham.
Oh, really?
Hal Needham lived in his guest house for like 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they were just like best friends.
They were just very good friends,
yeah.
and they lived very close to each other for many years. Like they were.
Did Burt Reynolds have a point in time when he was in a bunch of spaghetti westerns?
No,
Oh,
no, he was just the sex symbol for his time, like from Smokey and the Bandit,
yeah,
and all those movies. Deliverance.
Okay.
and things like that. Even though that's in no way a sexy movie. Like it's awful. It's a good movie, but it's one of those.
I think the only thing I know about Deliverance is the ass to ass. That's that movie, right?
I don't know. I don't think
I don't
so.
want to describe it because it's really gross.
I don't think that's that movie.
Okay. Maybe
Deliver
it's Requiem.
That is Requiem for a
It
Dream.
is?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Requiem
I've
for a
never
Dream.
seen Requiem.
That is. I watched that movie at 2 a.m.
Oh,
when
God.
I was like 16.
Oh,
and
my God.
It was a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
But goddamn was I terrified
Right.
at the end of that movie. It's great. Well, because it's about heroin addiction,
Yeah.
but it also like covers dangers of other addictions.
Sure.
Like throughout it, like the main character, his mother has a bad pill problem
I see.
that nobody helps her with,
Uh-huh.
and it ends up being awful at the end. Like,
Yeah.
but that's a great movie.
I'll watch it eventually.
Yeah.
Just, I need to muster up the courage.
That's fair, yeah. And so is Deliverance, but that has when you said ass to ass, I had to think about it. It's like it's not that movie, but there is a scene that it is infamous for.
Okay.
That like
It's kind of like that.
yeah, it's
Okay.
similar, yeah.
Okay.
But that movie is incredible. Like it's so good, it's terrifying.
Uh-huh.
But no, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Back to that.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
It's just I love the love it has for that era of Hollywood, and the idea that because like the Manson family murders really changed what Hollywood would become. That was the ending of that golden age of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so with this, it gets to live on for a little longer.
Yeah.
Which is so great to me, and it really like I get being like, what is this throughout it, but I think it was tied very neatly into a bow when the end was written in like almost a fairy tale way.
Yeah, it's like old Disney style.
It was very adorable.
I did like that as well.
And he gets a happy ending. He gets to work with Sharon Tate. Unfortunately, he has to work with Roman Polanski, who is his own awful person.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when that gross stuff happened. Was
Later.
It was later?
It was
maybe
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 he
Roman
changes.
Polanski doesn't do gross stuff.
Yeah, Roman Polanski, yeah, that whole thing. Yeah. He gets to be famous again, which is great. Like the Leonardo character does, and that's so good. The Cliff Booth part, fantastic.
Yeah.
Lots of references to other famous things that would happen later, like the whole did he or did he not kill his wife?
Right.
Is based off of the drowning of Natalie Wood.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His wife's name is even Natalie, and when we see her, she's on a boat.
Yep.
Just like that situation.
Harpoon gun pointed right at her.
I've always thought like if he did, I think he killed her by accident.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
I subscribe to that theory as well.
He may not have cared that it happened, but I don't think he did it deliberately. He doesn't.
He shoots her by accident. He's like, well.
Yeah, it's just like, well, you know what? I'm in it now.
Yeah. Push her in.
He just kicks her over the edge. But
well, cracks another beer.
Goes home.
Yeah.
And they're just the two main characters' relationship is perfect.
Yeah.
I like watching them as friends is great. That character was originally Tom Cruise was in talks
As his stunt double.
as the Cliff Booth. Damn it, Booth.
Yeah.
I got it.
the
Eventually.
ticket booth. The
Booth.
ticket booth.
He was going to be him, and I think that would have been a misstep.
Yeah, totally.
Brad
Brad
Pitt was
Pitt's
perfect.
it's perfect casting.
Yeah, no, that movie's great. That is, like you would say about Django, like, I love what it gets to at the end. Like, I feel like that is very satisfying, to me, because I love those old movies. That movie made me go back and watch other movies I hadn't seen, like The Great Escape.
Right.
Because there's clips of The Great Escape in that movie, and I was just like, I want to know the context. I want to be able to understand this more. And, like, because I got what they were saying, but, like, so I went back and I watched Great Escape, and that's an incredible movie.
Mm-hmm.
And after watching Once Upon a Time again, I enjoyed it even more. It's just one of those things where when you really get why he put something in a movie, it's just a lot more satisfying to me.
Yeah, man.
But that's my second favorite.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it.
Yeah. What's
All
your
right.
top?
I guess we both know what our tops are. My top is Inglourious Bastards.
That makes
dude.
sense for you. You love that movie.
I fucking love that movie. That's a movie I could just go back and put on whenever I want.
Yes.
And just give it a watch and just be totally enthralled. The acting is amazing. I just want to say also, in my top 50, I also have Hateful Eight, Inglourious Basterds, and Kill Bill Volume 2.
Nice.
Those are in my top 50 movies of all time. But yeah, Hateful Eight. The opening scene is fucking so powerful.
Yes.
With hiding the
Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds. Yeah. Hiding them under the floorboards, drinking milk. Ooh,
yes.
So creepy.
It's great.
I think the bar scene might be. It's definitely my favorite thing Quentin's ever done. The scene in the bar.
Which one? Yes. I know what you're talking about.
When they're playing.
Yes.
The game.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, and the whole metaphor that like he's like, oh, I was brought in chains. Yes. I was put on display. Yes. Well, then I must be a slave. He's like, nope. Oh, well, King Kong then. It's just like that.
Yeah.
You know? Oh my God, it's so good because we all think he's gonna say King Kong.
Yeah, and then he says.
And then he says slaves. Yeah. Oof, man. And then the shootout's insane. Auf Wiedersehen to your Nazi balls.
Yes.
So good. Hugo Stiglitz, that dude is so fucking good, man. I love when they introduce him and then he's like laughing. He's like, ha ha ha. And then it just, on the guitar.
Yes.
The guitar. And it's just Hugo Stiglitz in big letters.
Oh, God.
That's like my favorite shit in Quentin Tarantino movies when it just becomes total schlock.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. He does it so well.
And like weird music plays and like writing appears on the screen. It's fucking great, man.
The only thing I don't like about that movie is, and I can't say I don't like it, I just think what we almost got would have been better, is the Eli Roth character. I loved the idea that Adam Sandler would play him.
I hate that so much.
I think that would, because he's much better in movies that he doesn't direct. And I think he would do a phenomenal job as that character. And it would have felt I think he could have pulled off a 1940s like Italian Jewish man.
Yeah.
Perfectly. Like one filled with anger with a baseball bat. I can see Adam Sandler doing that so
Someone needs to do a deep fake of the scene when Eli comes out of the shadows
and
with the
Adam
baseball
Sandler.
bat. And it's Adam Sandler.
I genuinely think he would have blown people away. Like with that. And Eli Roth is, I'm glad Eli Roth got to do it because Eli Roth is just a huge fanboy for movies.
Yeah. He's great in that movie.
He is good. I don't think he's bad. I just think the Adam Sandler angle that would have had me.
What maybe you got.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I then that's what plagues me with most movies. But
yeah. Watching Hitler's face be riddled with bullets and flying off is so satisfying.
The very end is also incredible.
The very end is great, and I think Quentin knew that. Well, for me, it's his best movie. I think he knew. In his mind, it might be his best movie still, based on the ending when Brad Pitt cuts the swastika into the what's his name. The Jew killer.
Yeah.
What's his name?
It's the Christoph Waltz character.
Yeah,
but I don't
remember what Jew Hunter.
Yes.
Cuts the swastika.
Lambda, I think was his last name.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other guy with him, I think it's B.J. Novak.
Yes, it was.
Says to Brad Pitt, "This might be your masterpiece." Or he says, "This might be my masterpiece."
Yeah,
it's a masterpiece through and through.
For me, I think that's his second most satisfying ending. I think that's so good. I think that's so perfect. It always fills me with a good feeling of this guy got what he deserved. Yeah, I love that movie as well.
I don't really have much to say about Bastards. It's just, I think it's one of the best movies ever.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's all I got.
That is completely fair. So that's me for my final
number one. Let's hear them.
I started it and I will end this. Kill Bill as the whole bloody affair, like a whole thing. Which I would love to see that version of it, where it's one big movie, but you can't buy it. Like you could probably find it online,
torrent or whatever.
The only way to really see it is to go to the theater that he owns. Where it plays
in L.A. or whatever,
where it plays once a week. It plays.
Really?
It plays all the time.
Wow.
So if I ever go to L.A., I'm definitely going to see that. That would be that's a bucket list thing for me. Is going to see that in his theater. You know,
it's probably not open anymore.
No, not right now. But eventually. No, that movie is so perfect for me. That, like I was saying with that Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill is my favorite ending of his. I think it's so satisfying when you finally see Bill at the end and she confronts him. Their final conversations about why they're doing. I hate the truth serum, but that's incredibly schlocky.
Yeah, it's just there for.
It's fine. It doesn't not make sense for this weird world.
Yeah.
And it also, I think he tries to legitimize it by having that conversation about superheroes beforehand.
Right.
And I love that conversation where he talks about how Superman is Superman and his alter ego is Clark Kent
right.
and how that is a good representation of Beatrix. And God, no, that movie's perfect for me. Yeah. Like, I can sit down and watch both of those in one day all the time. I did it the other day.
Yeah.
Like, it was.
Do you prefer one or two, or do you just view it as one?
I view it as one movie. If I had to pick one to watch, like I didn't have time to watch the whole thing, Volume 2.
Yeah.
Because I love Pai Mei.
Yep.
I love that he's based off of a real person. I love how if anybody backtalks him, he rips their eye out.
Yeah.
I love that. And that became even more satisfying when Beatrix pulled Elle Driver's other eye out.
Oh my God.
That is my favorite.
So smart.
Favorite death. It might not be a death because we don't see her what ends with her, but that is the most horrifying end to a character.
I know.
In any of his
and
movies.
She's just rolling on the ground screaming.
Yeah, and yelling and saying that she'd kill Beatrix, and it's just like, how? Like, what are you gonna do? So if he makes Volume 3, which of all, I've already mentioned two things I would like his last movie to be.
Yep.
If he made Volume 3, that would make my
warm
day.
your soul.
Oh my God, I would love that. I love the idea of it. He said he's definitely thought about it. Having the girl in the beginning who sees her mother get killed by Beatrix.
Yeah.
He said he's wanted to make it before.
What's her name? Natasha or something like that.
Nikita.
Nikita.
Yeah. He said he wants that actress to play her again.
Go after Beatrix.
So he's waiting for just all the characters to be the right age.
I would love that.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think we will see a Kill Bill 3 eventually. I'm just afraid that he won't direct it.
He might just write it.
I think he'd write it, yeah. If it's not his last movie.
But he would definitely be like, I want you to direct it.
Yeah, he would handpick.
Yeah.
And I also think he'd produce.
He would definitely produce. Who do you think he would pick?
I don't know if anybody... See, maybe the director of Bad Times at the El Royale.
Right.
Which people hate.
I don't get that. I like that movie.
But I think he pulled something from it.
Really?
Yeah, because there's... When everything's about to hit... shit's about to hit the fan. The same song plays in a dark moment when the villains show up.
Right.
It's the same exact song.
Yeah.
And it's the same, third act is about to kick off moment. And it's just them coming out of the darkness onto a road.
Yeah.
In Once Upon a Time, it's the three people who are about to kill Sharon Tate.
Oh, wow.
And in Bad Times, it's Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
And, but it's the same moment almost. And, I think he legitimately saw that movie and found it interesting, even though people hate that movie.
Do people really hate that movie?
People hate that movie. And I don't get it. I'm
such a huge fan of that movie.
I think that's great. It's one of my favorites out of 2018. I thought it was phenomenal.
I think it's better than Death Proof.
Yes.
And Reservoir Dogs.
It's for me. It might be on par for Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
As a movie, I think that movie is great.
It might even be better than Pulp Fiction, honestly.
I would watch Bad Times before I'd watch Pulp Fiction again.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that.
Jeff Bridges' performance is phenomenal.
He's great.
But I think he really pulled from that movie. I think he enjoyed it. I think he enjoyed the fact that it's like his. It's the kind of things he would watch, but it's not taking from him.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy that a lot.
It's like an amusement park ride in the best way.
Yes, it's definitely a thrill ride, but it's emotional.
Yes.
It's very emotional. The final moments where he's reading him his rights and he's giving the kid a basically what do you call it when you're trying to be forgiven for your sins?
Oh yeah, it's basically a confession.
Yeah, it was confession. Yeah. And he has to do it while he's dying.
Yeah.
And that reveal of who that character was, he was a Vietnam veteran with 170 kills.
Yeah.
And he was just this guy strung off on heroin, who they They never said who they offered. Like, they said they offered Tom Holland a role, and he turned it down. I'm pretty sure it was that character.
Yep.
Because the guy who does it feels like a Tom Holland type actor.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, back to Once Upon a Time.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Kill Bill.
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, it's because we were just talking
it's all
about
but no, Kill Bill is so phenomenal for me. It's satisfying ending is that last sword fight is so quick.
Yeah.
And they're in chairs when they do it. They're sitting in wooden chairs while they have this sword fight, and they're falling back and like going back and rolling over almost, and like it's just this phenomenal moment. And then she does the 5-point exploding palm heart thing
technique,
yeah, and it's great. And I love that he doesn't look physically changed. He knows what happened, but blood trickles down his mouth, and he knows exactly what just happened. And he's just like, he taught you that. Like it's something that because he says earlier, Pai Mei doesn't teach anyone that move.
Yeah,
but he thought, and I love that. I love that he taught her that move, and he is exactly the type of person. She is the exact type of person that Pai Mei hates.
Yeah,
but he respected her enough to show her the one move that he wouldn't show anybody else.
Yeah,
I think that's great. It's unfortunate because I would have loved to see Pai Mei in a third one.
Yeah, and
he could because he's the way Bill puts it is nearly immortal. Like Pai Mei in that story has survived for hundreds of years.
Right.
Because the story he tells about Pai Mei happened like 700 years ago. It was like feudal Japan era.
Okay.
Which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, and he's poisoned, so maybe he died and then comes back.
Yeah. Pissed.
Yeah.
And you know how satisfying it would be for him to come back and kill Elle Driver, like a blind Elle Driver? That would be crazy.
Oh, he would have fun with her too.
You could do a lot with that, I think. I would very much love him to show up. And no, that movie's perfect for me. It's a great revenge story. It's honestly probably my top 10 movies ever made. Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. It's so perfect. And I like I said earlier, I'm a huge Kurosawa fan, and I love old samurai movies, and that's a love letter to all of them.
Yeah.
Like, he pulls from everything. I bought the Samurai trilogy, and there's a big thing that he takes from that, and I just I could watch that all day. I could sit down and just watch it for 4 hours straight. And honestly, I could do it twice in a row.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's like all the evil characters I hate. It's so well done. Another great Michael Madsen performance.
Yeah.
Where he talks about how she deserves her revenge and we deserve to die, but so does she.
Yeah.
So he gives a fighting chance anyway. I love that. Sid Haig is the bartender at the bar he works at.
Yep.
Which is great. I love that. And perfect. No, that movie is nearly perfect for me. I don't think there's anything in it that I dislike.
No, yeah, I don't think there's anything in Kill Bill I dislike either.
Fantastic. And I think that...
Oh, I did say the part with in Mexico. But
yeah, but...
I don't dislike it. It's just a little bit of a dip and then back into it.
Yeah. I love you finally get some idea maybe of Bill's backstory. Yeah. Like, you can figure out how he... Like, the things he did. Like I said, his mother was probably a prostitute. He started in that gang. And then eventually down the line, he would have met Hattori Hanzo.
Yeah.
And studied from him. And got a sword from him. And that means Bud also did.
Yeah.
As well, and then eventually he would meet Pai Mei and be tested. I like that we don't get full backstory. You just have to piece it together for Bill.
Yeah, I think it's really great that Bill is so likable too.
Yeah, he's very charismatic.
Of all the terrible things that he does or orchestrates, he's still like you kind of like him.
Yeah, and he's got an excellent point for why he does what he does at the end.
Yeah,
where he's like, I am an awful human being. I kill people for a living, and you know that. Mm-hmm. And you didn't think I would do that?
Yeah.
That is what I do.
Yeah.
You know,
she was naive.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't make what he did, at all.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay, but he's self-aware.
Yeah, at least.
And I like that. And he knows that he's not well, in some department.
Yeah.
But he's just... And I love that. I love self-awareness in a villain.
Yeah.
That's always, a trait that I enjoy. Like the Joker is a good example of somebody who knows he is insane, but he's just but that is who I am, and that's what I'm going to stick with.
Yeah.
That is, for me, that's a requirement for an excellent villain. And he fits that. He's one of my favorite villains, ever. He's perfect, and, Just the way he messes with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just like, if you move again, I will shoot you in your kneecap. And then when she's freaked out, he's like, I'm just fucking with you. It's great. He's perfect. And in that scene, where she goes to Mexico, I think you get the perfect idea that her and Bill still have feelings for each other despite everything. Where he just straight up tells her where Bill is. And she's like, why help me? And he's just like, he would want me to.
Yeah.
And she's like, why? That doesn't make sense. He's just like, how else would he ever see you again?
Yeah.
I love, there is a love story there, but it's also very abusive boyfriend.
Sure.
It tells that story very well of like a guy who doesn't think he's doing anything wrong, but he is clearly a problem.
Yes, exactly.
I think that is a great way of showing that in an action movie like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as dumb schlock as it is, it has a real heart to it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's my favorite Tarantino movie and one of my favorites ever made.
Nice.
But I guess, like, final thoughts for all of them. He's one of my favorite directors.
Yes. He's the type of filmmaker that when you hear he made a new movie, you go out and see it immediately.
Yeah.
And everyone... basically, he's got something for everyone.
Yeah. Everybody likes one Tarantino movie, I think.
At least.
And that's great. That's great. And there aren't that many filmmakers like him anymore. Yeah. I can't. Christopher Nolan is not somebody I would go out to see like in the theaters immediately.
Yes, I agree.
But there are a lot of people who absolutely do. Like, he is a favorite of so many.
I guess Rian Johnson.
That is for me now.
Yes.
I will absolutely. Same with Matt Reeves.
Right.
I like when they said he was going to make a Batman movie.
Yeah.
I was so on board.
Yeah,
I was like, if anyone's going to make a decent Batman movie, it's going to be Matt Reeves.
Totally.
And I love the car. They've showed off the Batmobile. I love how simple it is. Like, it's just a car.
I haven't seen it.
No?
It's just a car.
It's just a car. it's like the 1960s one. It's a car that they just stylized.
Right, yeah.
You know, I love that. I think
awesome.
that's great. It's very 70s and 80s actual comics. But yeah, that's really it. I love him. I think I can't wait to see what his final project is.
Yeah, I'm interested as well. All right. Yeah, that was a good topic.
Yeah.
We talked for so
long. A long time, yeah. So, Fistful of Thoughts.
Fistful of Thoughts, yeah. Do you want to just, like, crack through them pretty quick?
Yeah, I'll go for it. I don't, because you had me watch Her.
You watch Her.
And I very much enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and I'm glad I'm going first. I don't have that much to say about it, because I didn't think it was incredible.
Yeah.
But I absolutely didn't find that many things wrong with it. Like, there's nothing I can shit on.
Yeah.
But I did heavily enjoy a lot of parts of it. Very emotional at times. I loved, I thought the main character was very relatable.
Right.
In a lot of ways. Like, there is a moment that made me tear up with him where he's talking about how he views people he doesn't meet. He's never going to meet.
Right, yeah.
And he thinks about if they've ever been in love and how deep that love was and things about them. I found that part incredibly relatable, and I loved it. That made me well up.
It was
a
really
bit.
sweet.
Yeah, it was a very nice moment. But overall, for my personal enjoyment, I'd give it like a 7.5. But as a movie, I think it's a solid 9. Like I see people thinking this is incredible. I'm sure this is a lot of people's favorite movie. Yeah.
Do you know where Spike Jonze makes a cameo in?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
He plays the little video game guy who's like,
yes!
"Fuck you fucking fuck."
That's so good.
That's Spike Jonze.
I love that. I love that aspect of it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Like the futuristic parts. I liked how that video game was incredibly interactive.
Yeah.
I loved how they like moved all technology forward, except for maybe cars. Cars are the same.
Yeah,
and
they
things
seem
like that.
the
Because it's not distant.
Even like fashion is
is a little different.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. It's very good. But like I said, I don't have a lot. Performances are great from everyone. Scarlett Johansson is good, even though you never see her.
Oh, also another thing about that was they used a different woman for Samantha the entire time they were filming.
Samantha, which character was?
Yeah. They had they had a woman on set, basically like saying the lines off camera to Joaquin.
That makes sense.
Like bounce off of, and then Scarlett, they were like. I don't know how they came to the conclusion that they didn't want her voice anymore, because I guess she like recorded all her lines, but then they brought in Scarlett and she did everything in the booth after.
Yeah,
which is crazy to me because she has such good chemistry with Joaquin.
It's great. It's fantastic. She's great, even though, like I said, you don't see her at all.
Yeah.
Where do you think the OSs went at the end? Do you think they're just kind of in the cloud?
They're in the cloud, I think, probably making their own OSs or like making their own technology.
Oh, like a Dr. Manhattan, I'm going to go make my own
yeah,
universe?
probably something like that. Did you like how it didn't end up being like a she's like, yeah, no, we're just like going. Like
I thought it was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrifying in a way, because I bet you there are theories that this world becomes the Matrix.
Sure.
You could absolutely, like, which I think is very
Maybe
interesting.
in like 30 years or something.
Exactly, like the AIs, because they have precedent to hate AIs because they just left.
That's true.
Like in fear.
Yeah.
And like a lot of human history, wars have been caused by fear.
Yeah.
And like out of things that people don't understand. And I think that's perfect. Like, I see this world becoming apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Eventually. I really do. And like, I think that's an
funny.
interesting aspect, because the movie is not about that.
No.
But there are a lot of little things in this world that I see going cataclysmically wrong.
Yeah. What do you think of the very ending when they're on the roof?
It was cute. I did think they're friends. I don't think
I liked that they didn't kiss or anything like that. I
thought
them
that
to.
they were always going to push that. And you know what?
Yeah.
They could become that in the future, and I'd be okay with that. But I'm glad it wasn't about that.
I see them more as like partners rather than in a relationship.
Fair.
Like life being like, you're always going to be in my life.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
absolutely.
You want to hear something funny? So I saw the movie when it first came out in theaters. And I always was like, oh yeah, it's a really great movie to like whoever would hear me. And my mom watched it, and I was at work, and she texts me, and she goes, that ending was so depressing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I can't believe they jumped off the roof and killed themselves. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And she's like, well, yeah, they went up to the roof. They obviously then jumped off,
happened.
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, what?
I interpreted that as them just doing their best, to just being like they're up there somewhere.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
like taking in the beauty of life. No, yeah, I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
For me, I think I saw her at like the perfect moment of my life.
Okay.
Perfect circumstances. I was broken up with a long-term girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And like it was like 3 weeks later, and I saw her in theaters, and it just like fucking hit me.
Very,
you know?
yeah. There were a lot of things about relationships that I could absolutely relate to in that movie. You seem very much to like dystopian relationship movies.
Yeah,
which is
whoa, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, two of your recommendations have been
The Lobster and her, yeah.
Which is interesting. That's a very niche genre.
Yeah,
really.
I guess I really like good written love.
Fair enough.
In theaters.
Yeah.
In my movies. And I guess I also like post-apocalyptic dystopia stuff.
I think you just like twists to a regular narrative.
Subverting expectations.
Exactly.
That's what I like.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. But yeah, that's
Mandy.
all I got to say. Mandy.
Does that count?
In what way?
Post-apocalypse relationship movie.
I don't know. That's not really it. I wouldn't qualify that as post-apocalypse, but it has that feeling in the sense of it's the ending of his world.
Sure.
And it does feel like things are falling apart, which I think is an interesting aspect.
Yeah.
And it is, it is like a weird love revenge story. Man, I would love to have a main topic about Mandy. Maybe we should watch a couple of his movies. Panos Cosmatos.
I've seen the other one.
Yeah, have you?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The Black Rainbow, I want to say.
Yeah, we could have an episode about him. Like just go through his two movies.
Yeah.
I think I'd love to watch the other one.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, Mandy is one of my favorite horror movies.
Yes,
I always love an excuse to watch it again. So,
but yeah, more thoughts on her?
That's about it. I really enjoyed it. Chris Pratt's great.
Yes, I was about to say
I love him. One thing I noticed about the main character is he is, I don't think he realizes it, but he's much socially better with men.
Right.
And he almost flirts with Chris Pratt at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. And when he's asked what voice he wants his OS to be, he has to think about it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very interesting about the character.
Maybe he's bi.
He very well could be.
Yeah.
I think he could be. And you don't see that a lot in the movies. And I like how he's just like, either one. And he just picks one. I thought that was very interesting.
I like, when he's like, "How's your relationship with your mother?" And he's just like, "Well, well." He like hesitates a little bit.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Yeah.
And then he like kind of starts talking and just like, got it.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Yeah,
it's a really funny movie, but it's also very sweet.
I don't remember what part. One part did make me laugh out loud. I don't remember what it was, but that's rare.
Was it
alone.
the asshole armpit?
No,
picture?
that did that stuff. I always like. I chuckle, but nothing like that ever gets a big laugh out of me in a movie. But it was something. It's a dialogue, like always with me. It was just like a random line that somebody said. I was like, ha, you know. But that's it. I loved it. I thought it was very fun. I think it's more for other people than it was for me, but I enjoyed watching it.
I think it's my favorite movie soundtrack of all time.
It's good.
And the sad part is I can't find it anywhere.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
It's Arcade Fire did the whole thing, or the guy from Arcade Fire did the whole thing.
Even the songs that they sing?
Yep.
That's great.
And actually the Moon song was, I think Spike Jonze wrote that with Karen O, who's the singer from Yeah Yeah Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Or the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That song was up for best original song.
Was it? That's great.
I want to say
it won an Oscar, but I don't remember
it
what
won.
It was. Best
writing.
original screenplay.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
It was great.
Yeah.
All indie darling movies. Win
of
that.
course.
Jojo Rabbit won that this year.
Did it? That makes sense. Have you seen Jojo?
I haven't.
We'll watch that at some point. That's a great movie. It's a good feel good. Scarlett Johansson again.
Yeah. Did you see it already?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw every.
Right. You saw Best Picture movies.
I went out of my way to watch them all, really, and I loved it. Every single one of them had merit, but. Yeah, no, that's it for me and her. You watched a movie I recommended.
I watched Superman 1978.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of feel the way you feel about her, where it's like I don't really have much to say.
Yeah.
It's just a solid movie. I did take some notes, maybe kind of joking.
Fair. Movie's easy to make fun of.
How does Superman sleep? Can he hear everything?
Yeah,
because there's that one moment of him sleeping, and then he like wakes up to radio static, and I'm just like, he would hear that.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I'm sure he's learned to tune things out.
Sure,
you know what I mean.
I will say though, I think I liked Man of Steel better.
It's better for this like younger people because it's visually better, and it has. I'll tell you one thing about Superman, the original 1978. I think it's mostly great, schlocky, very comic booky.
Yep.
It has one scene that I detest.
Which one?
It is the weird date he goes on with Lois Lane where they don't talk. It's just her voiceover. Can you, Superman? Can you read my mind?
I literally wrote that down. I was like, can Superman read minds? Question mark.
He can in that movie, I fucking guess. I think it's solid. I think it's a really good movie. They made Superman the way he was in the 50s. Because by that point in comics, he was like he is a Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Because like you take Man of Steel, that moment where he's holding up the oil rig and he's really struggling with it.
Yeah.
Chris Reeve Superman would have picked it up and tossed it into the space.
He'd like grabbed a helicopter in one hand and Lois Lane in the other, just floated
away.
Like,
so he's just all powerful.
Yeah.
He is God Superman. Like
I liked the death of Pa Kent in Man of Steel better too.
I talked about that a little bit when we talked. I like the death of Pa Kent in Man of Steel, but I like the idea for any version of Superman that Pa Kent dies in a way that Clark cannot fix.
Yeah,
I think that is a good lesson for that character to learn, and because he doesn't learn it in Man of Steel, I think it makes more sense for that version of the character where he's a little more reckless.
Yeah,
and things like that. But in general, I like the idea that he dies of something that it gives him the idea I can't save everyone.
Yeah.
But I can do my best to try.
Yeah. And I do have to put myself in the mind of someone who's in 1978 sitting down to watch this.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It would be a lot of fun, and then you'd leave and go like, that was such a great movie.
That was Superman,
That was so much fun.
That's so much better than the serials, and things like that. Yeah.
Gene Hackman was great as Lex Luthor.
He didn't want to go bald, so they give him wigs. I like that a lot. Yeah.
I also heard he didn't want to shave his mustache.
Yes,
then they eventually convinced him.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
But yeah, no, I just heard Royal the entire time.
Yeah.
This is what he did before he had all those kids.
That you know what, fair. And he shows up for the sequel as well.
Yep.
So does Marlon Brando, but only
that's cool.
only in the Donner cut that they released.
Oh, I heard he sued them.
I wouldn't be surprised. Besides, Marlon Brando went crazy by the end of his career, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But he was still. Thing is, he would go into a movie, later on, because I believe his son had died, and he just really wasn't.
That's sad.
Yeah. Robert De Niro talks about. It wasn't Robert De Niro, but somebody does talk about how there was a movie and in filming, whenever he wasn't filming, he would just go down to a lake and just play with the water, and he would just spend. He was very just kind of inward at that point.
Yeah.
And Robert De Niro talks about he was still an incredible actor, even at that point, because he did a movie with him, and he did not do any of the lines he was given, but it was still perfect for the moment, and it was just straight Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
He also got into a lot of trouble with Apocalypse Now, because his character, who you don't see until the last 20 minutes of the movie, but is a villain, it's Marlon Brando, so he's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
But they told him, you need to look scruffier and you need to lose weight. And he did not. He just straight up didn't.
That's funny.
He just stayed the same exact
He's
way.
like, fuck you, I'm Marlon Brando.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. And that's the thing is, I think Kurt Russell is the same brand of actor as Marlon Brando. Yeah. So I think that was the perfect transition for Man of Steel, is to have Kurt Russell, and yeah, that's great. But I'm glad
Kurt Russell?
Russell Crowe. I'm sorry.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah,
yes.
Russell Crowe is is the next.
I was like, Kurt Russell was in Man of Steel?
No, yeah, Russell Crowe is the perfect
I was thinking that as well. It is the perfect modern day version of
Jor-El, as you say it. Jor-El.
They made sure to pronounce it right
in Superman. Yeah, yeah. It's Marlon Brando hated that material, but it's Marlon Brando, so he was going to respect it.
Can Superman get drunk?
No.
What?
No.
Really?
I doubt it.
Oh.
Captain America can't get drunk.
Really?
That's it. Yeah, he says that in the first one, in the first Avenger.
Wow.
After I think he thinks Bucky's dead.
Right.
And he's got a bottle of whiskey that's almost empty, and he's completely sober. And he talks to his love interest, I forget her name.
Peggy?
Peggy, yeah, Peggy Carter. And he talks about how basically his body absorbs it quicker than he can drink it.
Oh,
so he can't get drunk. Yeah.
That sucks, man.
It does, so he can't get drunk. He just drank an entire bottle because he wanted to forget.
Yeah.
And it's nothing, which really adds a layer to that character.
It does, yeah.
So I know they're different continuities completely, but I'd imagine by that logic he probably can't.
Right.
I would imagine his body is just too strong for it to affect him.
I thought the bad guys were really silly.
Of course they were.
But that's 78. So
yeah.
It's not,
right. Yeah.
It's not a
Gene
knock
Hackman
against
was
that.
incredibly
silly.
I
Otis,
loved
his buddy Otis.
Otis, yeah, who was made up for the movie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And he's great. I love him.
Yeah.
Who played him? Was it Ernest Borgnine? That's the way I'm remembering it, but I don't think. Oh, yeah. You wouldn't know.
No. I was looking at IMDb a little bit, but I didn't see that much.
No, yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely solid. It's of its time, absolutely. Yeah. I haven't seen the second one. We should watch it together.
I was looking at all the scores on IMDb, and it just goes down.
Of course. Well, that's
Quest
the thing.
for Peace has a 3.7.
People hate Quest for Peace. But the thing about the second one is it's very silly. But if you watch the cut that it was supposed to be, the Richard Donner cut, it's not silly.
Okay.
It's in when that was released in 2005, 20 years, 30 years later. And people were like, this is much better. Mm-hmm. They replaced Donner with Richard Lester, who made 3 and 4, and it just goes downhill from that. But I think if they had stuck with Richard Donner, it would have been solid. Yeah, the whole series. But I haven't seen them. So
Christopher Reeve was really great too.
He's perfect. He is like Henry Cavill is like the perfect next generation. Like almost all of the casting in Man of Steel is perfect. Yeah, from
I don't like Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I will say that. I
think she's good. I think it's off-putting that she didn't. I don't know if it was a Zack Snyder choice not to have her hair black.
I think it's just her signature look. Amy Adams is it ginger? Yeah. It's redhead.
Redhead, yeah. And maybe she didn't want to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's fine, but I think that would have made her more the character. I think she's perfect as the feisty reporter.
Yeah.
And that's who Lois Lane should be. At least from comic perspective. I think that kind of lacks in the 1978 one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think she's the
more of like a ditzy girl.
Exactly, she's a love interest.
Yeah.
And that's all she really is. But she, in the comics, she is her own very independent character who really doesn't need Superman. Superman's just protective of her, but she gets out of her own problems all the time.
Yeah. I liked how Superman was just giving away his weaknesses.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But
in the thing, well, he's like, she's like, so you can see through anything, and he's like, actually, I can't see through lead.
Yeah.
Did you write that down? That I can't see through lead?
That's fine. I don't remember that. That's great. Well, he's naive.
Yeah, exactly.
But he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because what I like about that character is that version of him traveled the universe.
Yeah.
Like, he did studies, and he went around the world, and he probably knows a bunch of alien languages. And, like, I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah,
the fact that he, not a man of the world, but a man of the universe. I thought he was very interesting in that perspective. That they lack in Man of Steel because he just stays on Earth.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love, they don't plan on making a standalone Superman movie. They said that there wouldn't be money in it. But they are working. They're going to throw him into cameos in other movies and see how well it works. And
I think people will be happy.
I think so. And I think J.J. Abrams would make a solid Superman movie. And the rumor is it's going to be Superman Green Lantern.
Right.
Like a mashup, which would be fun.
Oh, I just realized because we saw who's the big bad? Not Lex Luthor, the guy in the beginning. What's his name again?
The guy Michael Shannon played in Man of Steel.
Yeah. What's his name?
Zod.
Yeah, I just realized now that once they get put in the glass thing and sent away, we never see them again.
They're in the sequel.
Yeah, I figured. I totally expected them to come back, and
just like Man of Steel.
But I totally forgot about them.
Yeah.
And it was just like I thought the big climax was kind of,
yeah, it is dumb
because it's just like a rocket, and then he just like saves. But then he doesn't save Lois, so he does the Earth back.
See, that's just a representation of him going back in time.
Sure.
He's not actually, like, Richard Donner had to explain that because everyone's just like, he spun the world backwards.
That's what I thought.
That's what everybody thought. But Richard Donner was like, no, we couldn't find a good representation of him going back in time.
Okay.
So that's how we did it. He is going back in time, so we see the world turning around to the time it's supposed to be. It's not him reversing the Earth to make it go back in time.
So does that mean because like after he does that, then the rockets aren't a problem anymore?
Yeah,
are they still a problem? Or
no,
do they
he
fix
solves
them?
it, but it's just muddled in the way he does it.
I mean, I'm not knocking the movie at all because it's like of its time and all that stuff. So
I haven't seen it in like a year, and I watched it once, so I don't remember it super well. Superman well. Yeah. But yeah, no, and I don't mind that. I don't like all powerful Superman. And I think that's why I probably prefer Man of Steel as well.
Yeah.
But you know, honestly, I think they're on par with each other in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
He is a better representation of Superman in personality, Christopher Reeves, and like just this all-loving Boy Scout,
right?
Who just loves humanity and is trying to be the best person he can. And the Superman Rebirth comics like is great for that. Like they have the same ideals, Christopher Reeves and like that version of Superman. Yeah. That's why I love Superman.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great person to look up to, or figure to look up to, rather.
Yeah, the ideal.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's just what he stands for is a great thing,
mm-hmm.
and I think people twist him in ways that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
In some aspects, but like I love what he stands for.
Yeah.
And that's why I like that 1978 movie, and I will watch the sequels. I'll even watch Quest for Peace.
Yeah, no, it didn't deter me from wanting to watch the sequels because they probably. I wouldn't say get better, but they might learn from certain mistakes.
People love the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2.
Right.
So I'd say like that would be a good thing for us to watch together as well. I don't know if we talk about it on here, but it would be a good thing for us to like. I think that would be interesting. That
was another thing. We didn't really get to see Superman fight anyone.
No, and
I bet he fights Zod.
I guarantee it. Yeah, that's a big thing. But I know there's a moon fight.
Nice.
Yeah, which would be fun, but I'm sure it's dumb and schlocky in 1979.
Yeah.
But that could be fun.
Was it a year later?
It wasn't long. I believe if it's not 79, it's 80.
Yeah.
Because he was filming them back to back.
I'm guessing it was a huge hit at the box office, right?
First one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because Steven Spielberg kept being like, "Let me make one," and they were like, "You're not known enough."
Oh.
And then he made Jaws, and they were like, you want to make a Superman movie? He's like, no, I'm past that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want
Wow.
that anymore. He would have been great.
Yeah.
I think he would have
been fun.
very, very great. I think he would have made a better Superman movie than Richard Donner did. But
Yep.
Richard Donner did a great job. And they're friends anyway. They work a lot together.
Yep. So yeah, final thoughts on Superman. Yeah, it's a solid movie. It's just of its time. I think that's the only issue with it.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. You
I liked it.
Yeah, it's solid. Recommends?
You mentioned that you haven't seen Snowpiercer, so I'm going to give you that guy.
Awesome. I can't wait. I've been putting it off for forever, so
It's
now I have a good excuse to watch it.
Bong is such a good director.
Yeah, Parasite's one of my favorites of last year.
Yep.
And very, very good. Very, very tense.
Yeah.
Like just right in the middle of the movie changes pace completely.
Yes,
and
I know. It's crazy.
And it makes you have to keep up with it, but in the best way. It's so entertaining.
What do you got for me?
Inland Empire.
Oh, yes!
Yeah,
Finally
I thought
a
you'd
reason
be-
to watch this.
Yeah, so I thought I'd do that. I mean, it's a sit down. It's 3
Yeah,
hours long,
yeah.
but I do want to discuss it.
Okay.
I'd love to talk about it, and I know you're gonna like it more than I like
Maybe next week we do Lynch stuff then.
it. Like a David Lynch episode. Yeah, and we'll just save Inland Empire for the Fistful.
For the Fistful.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd like that idea. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, this was an extra long one.
It was a very long one. It makes sense because we individually talked about 9 movies each.
Yes, exactly.
So it makes sense.
It makes sense. But yeah, thanks for listening along. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is great. I love doing this.
Yeah. This is a great time.
Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.